1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Perloff, what'd you call it? Our summer fling? We had a summer fling with the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation, and now our fling is now back in October. We get a Browns QB change, we think.
And it's funny. It feels like it's out of nowhere, and we expected it all summer. We were counting down the days until we get to see these rookies, and now that they're here, like, wow, that happened fast.
Yeah, it looks like Joe Flacco is going to take a seat with the Cleveland Browns, and now Dillon Gabriel gets in, which means Shedeur Sanders is just one play away from him getting an opportunity, or one injury away from getting an opportunity.
That's a presumption, because Joe Flacco could be second string.
Oh, you think so? Do you think they'd go back to Flacco if something happened to Gabriel? They wouldn't try Shedeur? What's the point of this thing then? Is it to check out the rookies, or is it to just mess around with the depth chart?
I think, actually, with this particular game is weird. It's Minnesota and Brian Flores, who presumably will torture a rookie quarterback, the veteran defensive coordinator for the Vikings. So I don't understand why they're going with Dillon in this game. And they certainly probably would rather I'd go to Flacco second, because Shedeur against that blitz-heavy scheme, I don't know that either rookie's going to do well here.
Okay, so again, the Browns are on their way to London right now. They're going to play the Vikings this weekend. The Vikings are already in the UK. They played against the Steelers in Dublin last week. Now they're going to take on the Browns. They're coming off of a really tough loss, where presumably they're going to have every advantage in the world here, the Vikings. I know they're dealing with injuries.
Well, I mean, their O-line crumbled in real time last game.
Right, but they got Darrisaw back, but I understand they have some injuries on the offensive line. But and I don't know about what the status of J.J. McCarthy is right now. I'm just assuming it's going to be Wentz. But here's the thing. You have a team that's already acclimated to the time change and the travel.
You're so into that?
Because I watched it a couple of years ago when the Jags got to stay there for 2 weeks, and my Bills came over for the second week and got smoked. And now you are potentially asking a rookie quarterback, who I know has tons of starts in college, Dillon Gabriel, but no starts in the NFL, and you're asking him to go on this adventure to London and face Brian Flores, and we're not even sure why. What are they really getting out of this? Because this has always been my thing about the Browns, as fun as this quarterback thing has been, especially with Shedeur in the mix. Is it actually about testing these rookies and trying to find your quarterback of the future, or is it about keeping the seat warm for a high draft pick for next year? Because they have that Jaguars pick that they traded with the Travis Hunter pick, but the Jags are off to a 3-1 start. The Jags play in the AFC South. The Jags might have 9 or 10 wins this year. That pick may not be what they thought it was going to be.
Well, that will be worth something. If say it's 23 or something, then that would be not. It's not like the 32nd pick, so it's something. But I'm not sure there's what's a good time to start Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders. You can't go through the schedule and find This at least you're going against a Minnesota team who's having their issues offensively. You could win this game. It's a you know what I'm saying?
Is it about wins at this point?
What's that?
Is it about wins at this point?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
definitely. Well, here's the thing. You think it's bad for the Browns starting quarterback. Minnesota, if it's J.J. McCarthy comes back and plays this game, he's going up against a ferocious defense. I'm telling you right now, they were a pain in the Lions' neck last week, and that's a great offense. And Cleveland's defense, Myles Garrett and the rest of that D-line is ferocious. So, honestly, I'm more worried about whoever's starting for Minnesota than whoever's starting for Cleveland. Yes, I think Dillon Gabriel will be confused by Brian Flores' defense, but I think they have a great chance to win this game just with defense. Like last week, Vikings had a few turnovers with Carson Wentz. If Wentz is playing, Wentz tends to stay in the pocket too long. He'll take some massive hits. I think he gets some turnovers there. So I think this is going to be a winnable game. Then you go to 2 and 3. There's enough talent in Cleveland to not tank this season. You have Myles Garrett, the best defensive player in the league. You have some veterans on offense, Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku. Quinshon Judkins is promising, the rookie running back. I don't tank. It sounds like you would just start building for the future.
Well, I'm just questioning. Like, I'm questioning when you start a rookie quarterback on the road in a different continent and you're facing this really crazy defensive coordinator who's known to kind of take it out on rookies. He has this sort of Belichick, he was part of the Belichick tree, and he has this in common with Belichick, which is they kind of feast on these younger guys. And I know Dillon Gabriel's not your average rookie because he was in college for 1,000 years, but still, I do think this is tough. And then I'm asking you this question. If it is about wins, if it is about the Browns staying competitive, because you look around the rest of the division and it's crumbling. We'll get to Lamar Jackson.
Yep.
Latest reports, he could be out 2 to 3 weeks with the hamstring injury, and they're sitting at 1 and 3. Look at what's going on with the Bengals. We watched them get whitewashed on Monday night in Denver. The Steelers feel like they're hanging on by a thread, even if Aaron Rodgers is playing okay. So there's maybe some wins here on the schedule. Doesn't Shedeur have the higher ceiling than Dillon Gabriel? Didn't we think that going into the draft? Now, we'll see. And obviously the Browns know, and they get the institutional knowledge of being there every day. But wasn't that always part of the Shedeur, crazy story was even if let's say you don't like his attitude, let's say he tanked the draft process, let's say all that stuff is 100% true. And I do believe it, that he did not handle the pre-draft process well. But now we're just into the football aspect, right? Doesn't Shedeur actually have the higher ceiling than Dillon Gabriel? And if you really are trying to win games, wouldn't he be the guy you go to? Screw the depth chart.
Absolutely not. I don't know. Have you seen anyone in Cleveland who says Shedeur is did you see enough in preseason to think Shedeur is going to go on some massive win streak with that team? I didn't see that.
Well,
I've never heard anybody say that.
No one's going on a massive win streak. It's the Browns after all. I'm asking
if
who
Shedeur
has the
such
higher ceiling?
I don't know. I don't think if Shedeur is a high ceiling guy because he's not a great athlete. He's not Anthony Richardson. That's a high ceiling. I think he's going to be sort of closer to Dillon Gabriel. He's sort of a middle road. He's going to be a very competent quarterback, right? Not the biggest arm, not the most athletic guy, just has good accuracy. High ceiling, he doesn't strike me as a high ceiling. Physically, he's not going to be Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson.
Obviously not.
So,
we see
what's
that.
high ceiling about him?
He slipped to the 5th round. I'm just saying between these two guys, between Dillon Gabriel and and Shedeur Sanders, who do we think ultimately is going to end up being the better quarterback?
Well, I would say the draft said Gabriel.
Right, but there was also more to the draft than just talent because Shedeur, him falling to the 5th round was obviously not just about football. But even if you think it was somewhat about football, it clearly was not all about football.
But are we relitigating August? I guess you don't buy that Gabriel really beat Shedeur in camp and was better in the preseason. He definitely was better in the preseason, but Shedeur struggled in his last game.
I think it's going to be difficult. I do. I mean, it's going to be difficult for either guy. I'm looking at how we viewed this going into the draft, and it would have been no doubt, hands down, that Shedeur has the higher ceiling than Gabriel.
That was 6 months ago.
But Pearl, what has changed? Neither of them have
millions
played
of things have changed. Shedeur fell in the 5th round. He didn't impress them in camp, reportedly. And
he's still on the roster, and Kenny Pickett's not.
Yeah, I know, and I'm sure they regret that now. This definitely should be Kenny Pickett's first start.
Well, clearly, this is why I'm like, do they actually want to win games? And I question that.
But they're not going to go. Going to Shedeur in this game is not a win now move either. Obviously,
no. Either rookie is going to have their hands full, right?
But I think that they want to see Gabriel, and eventually they're going to want to see. To get to Shedeur, you have to play Gabriel for a few games, see how that works. And then I'm not 100% convinced that they're going to be eager to go to Shedeur. They've been very reticent to play Shedeur and to promote Shedeur. He's been sort of relegated to third string his whole time there. But we'll see Shedeur. This is just part of the process. So you're going to get, as we both said coming to the season, we're going to get some Flacco, some Dillon Gabriel, some Shedeur Sanders. And then the season will be over and they'll draft another quarterback. That's what's going to happen.
So they're just keeping the seat warm. The Browns are actually not true in seeing whether either of these guys could be the quarterback in the future.
They're taking a lottery. They're taking a flyer. They're taking a lottery ticket. And honestly, the other thing is I don't necessarily think this is a franchise that has a plan.
Stop me if you've heard that before.
Yeah, that's it.
But
period. Do you see a plan?
Well, I never saw a plan.
Yep.
So I guess here's what I'm asking the audience. Forget all of the attitude stuff. Forget all of that and the Dion and everything about Shedeur Sanders. We're talking about the Browns right now. Do you think, and I know we have a big Oregon audience that's obviously going to back Dillon Gabriel here, so I get that. But who was thought of to be the better quarterback off of their college tape? And Dillon Gabriel had very good college tape. So I'm not asking this rhetorically, but who was thought of to have the higher ceiling and what's actually changed? Neither guy has started an NFL game. So who actually gives you the better chance to win games? If the Browns are doing this and making this change from Joe Flacco to Dillon Gabriel because they think the season and playoffs or whatever are still a outlier. I don't know. I think they're watching what's happening in the AFC North and they're like, why not? Because you could always wait you could wait 2 more weeks. They play Minnesota, then you're home for Pittsburgh. That might be a tough spot for a rookie. You got Miami, at New England, at the Jets. Like there is a lane here to start a rookie if you wanted to give them an air quotes easier task than Brian Flores in London coming after you.
I think the narrative coming out of Cleveland was Dillon Gabriel is more ready to go. Because Shedeur, if you remember his last preseason game, was trying to run around and avoid sacks and took massive sacks and was screwing around. This is not the game for Shedeur to start freelancing again. And we know the problem with Shedeur is he holds on to the ball too long and keeps on trying to make a play, maybe because he was trying to win the job in the preseason. But it feels like you mentioned a higher ceiling. The downside with Shedeur is much more severe. Dillon Gabriel is just going to get up there and get some passes batted, but I don't think he's going to take 30-yard sacks like Shedeur will.
Well, he's going to have to move around a little bit, most likely, if Brian Flores is going to bring the pressure. He's obviously the Vikings defensive coordinator, and he's going to be coaching against the Browns offense.
So you just think the Browns were lying when they said Dillon Gabriel was more ready to go? Because they've said that in so many different ways throughout the summer. We came out of the summer, I didn't think there was a clamoring to see Shedeur after his last preseason game.
Yeah.
There was. They tried to tell reporters that Dillon Gabriel is the better of the two quarterbacks. They keep saying it. They keep saying it. He's more polished.
Well,
He's
Shedeur
ready
got
to go.
hurt also, so that kind of
even
set him
before,
back with the core injury. But no, this is
even before that though. I think the Browns were pretty consistent. Like Shedeur never even threatened him on the depth chart.
You just asked me, does it look like the Browns have a plan? I never trust the Browns. I don't trust what they say. I don't trust what they're doing. And I think they could have just as easily been like, you know what, actually, we're going to Shedeur. They could have.
That would go bad this week. It's probably going to go bad for Dillon, but it'd go way worse for Shedeur. Because Shedeur would try to make a bunch of plays against that defense, and it would go terribly.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. So there we go. This was our summer fling is now back for the fall. The Browns quarterback situation is front and center.
Massive sacks.
Yep.
I don't even know what to make. This game is going to be hideous. Because, dude, watch that defensive line of Cleveland. Like the Vikings are going to have a hard time blocking this whole thing. And the thing is, if they go J.J. McCarthy, then I think the Browns are favored in this game, right? Like, I think it depends. So if they go Wentz, the Vikings are favored. If they go McCarthy, I think the Browns are favored. So it should be really interesting. But if they go Wentz, it's going to be an adventure because he will throw for 300 yards, but he'll throw 3 picks.
Well, that's the Joe Flacco experience, right? And that's what the Cleveland wanted to avoid. So they're reportedly going to make a change here. It's like, I don't know, all but official, I would guess.
Yeah, maybe they're doing gamesmanship. So the
and
Vikings,
travel days.
Yeah,
and
the
stuff
Vikings
like that.
don't know exactly how to prepare because they're very different, 3 different quarterbacks. Dillon Gabriel is obviously short.
Yep.
Joe Flacco is tall and slow, so different.
Duck.
I would leave the decision in the last minute just so Brian Flores, Minnesota's defense coordinator, doesn't know what to do.
So right now the Vikings are 3.5-point favorite, over under 36.5.
Do you agree with me that line would move towards Cleveland if they started J.J. McCarthy? I think significantly.
Yeah, probably. I mean, McCarthy's played like one good quarter.
Yeah.
And then he got hurt. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on that. But we just couldn't resist with a Browns quarterback story. I mean, we've been waiting for this all year. Couple things. As I'm here on my DraftKings account, seeing that this Rams 49ers line got pretty big. Do you know that the Rams are a 6.5-point favorite tomorrow night? That feels large. And Brock Purdy yesterday said that if the game was yesterday, he would not be able to play because of his toe injury that he re-aggravated. But now that he's got 2 days to prepare, now he's got 1 day, he feels like he could be ready to go.
Right, but I don't even know if that's a good thing. Because Purdy, because of the toe injury, I think, really is erratic. You don't know what you're going to get on any drop back for that guy. I feel terrible for the Niners. Like it's all.
How many quarterbacks are they going to need to get through the season?
How many different other players? Like the receiving core is even worse now. Is there look at the depth chart? Is there any skill position player who doesn't have red on his name? They are going to just try and run Christian McCaffrey into the ground. The injuries stink, Maggie. It really is kind of frustrating. I know you picked them as a Super Bowl, and they started out 3-0, which usually is a formula for Kyle Shanahan to go on a run, but they just can't get the bodies together.
I'm really surprised they're this big of an underdog. I guess that's assuming that Purdy is not going to play. 6.5 points.
Well, I mean,
the Rams are great. I know.
Yeah, you saw Purdy last week. Was there anything
terrible.
Scary there?
It was bad, and the Jags defense is very good. 888-710-4ISN. 888-710-4476. Should the Browns go to Shedeur over Dillon Gabriel? You can call us up. You can leave your messages in the chat. Just noticing that 49ers Rams line is pretty high. And I just do want to make I want to commend somebody today on the show. An attaboy, if you will. Proud of Manny for showing up today. Walking into the Hornets' nest, Yankee fan, and he's about to get up and walk away. You're trading Chris. I kind of wish you were on the board. Now Manny's leaving. I kind of wish you were on the board. Chris, you're doing a great job. But I kind of wish Manny was on the board just for the distraction of it. You know, you got to be thinking, where's my Deion Sanders drops? Where are my, Maggie and Perloff making fun of them all the time? Just as a distraction to not remember that you had bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th inning yesterday down by a run and Aroldis Chapman closed you out.
Also, no outs, by the way.
Damn it.
What's that?
No outs, by the way.
Shut up, EJ.
0 outs, yeah.
I was a little worried last night in the group text that it was going to get nasty. And I think I don't really
EJ,
trust
you came
everybody.
in pretty quick with the Photoshop.
I don't trust everybody in the group text.
But to be honest, this is our sports safe zone. If you can't drop it in the group text, where can you drop it?
If it wasn't Trent Grisham who got the final out, nothing would have happened. But once he got the final out, after all the crap I've heard for 48 hours about Juan Soto and the Mets from this guy, I was like, oh, it's coming.
No, EJ had it in the drafts. But you want to know what I was wondering? I was wondering if Manny was actually going to come in today with the mustache shaved.
Do you want me to just come naked then? Like,
as a Trent Grisham, I was riding with you, man. Like, great season for Grisham. Manny rocking the mustache.
It's not over. It's not over yet, Meg.
Ask Manny. I said, you got a game tonight. He's like, ugh. Yeah, I think you feel like it's over.
Where does he play?
it's basketball season, guys.
See, you got the Knicks gear on.
It's
good to
basketball
turn
season.
the page. I mean, you still do have another game.
The numbers.
Yeah, whoop-de-doo. No, I'm not going to shave my mustache. I have Halloween costumes to think about that go along with the mustache. So I'm not going to shave this beautiful rat off of my upper lip,
Wait,
okay?
were you going to be Trent Grisham?
I'm not going to disclose any of that information. It's not Halloween yet.
All right.
Top secret stuff over here.
Do not shave the mustache.
I will never shave this mustache.
Yeah, that's your superpower, dude.
Indubitably.
Well, it's an attaboy on you for coming in today, because that's a tough one.
It must have been easy for you guys to come in, considering your team isn't playing.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
Yeah.
Was coming. Kinda.
Yeah.
And our team not so subtly, our team collapsed over the course of weeks and over basically a month.
I watched Shohei Ohtani hit a 600-foot home run and say, you know what, I'm good.
Was did they cancel the Reds-Dodgers game and decide to have a home run derby instead? And I didn't get the memo because the Reds pitchers were grooving them right down there for Shohei. That was insane. That second home run is still in the air somewhere.
Yeah, Teoscar Hernandez is like, yep, I'll take that too. I mean, Hunter Green, remember when he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated?
Oh, yeah. That was a long time ago.
A teenager, right?
And he's from like 15 minutes away from Dodger Stadium, too. So
he was serving them up like tacos last night.
I know. Was he on the other side? I know he grew up a Dodgers fan, I think.
You're alleging something, EJ? 888-710-4ISN. We'll get into the baseball because day one of the playoffs absolutely delivered. You know, for the Tiger fans out there, sorry, Cleveland Guardians fans, but that was a wild ending with José Ramírez getting picked off when he was the tying run at third. That was crazy. Obviously, we had what happened with the Yankees RedSox.
You're very much wearing Dodger blue. That's if you're on the YouTube stream. Are you jumping on my Dodgers?
No,
my second team?
I can't
That's
do that
baseball.
because I'm a real fan, so I can't root for another National League team. But I hate everything in my closet right now. I just hate all my clothes.
Last year's it is Bills colors. Yeah. But you have to admit, like this Dodgers say, I one at bat in, I'm like, oh, they're winning the World Series. What are we even watching here? They look like a dream team. I feel like I'm watching the 27 Yankees, and the Phillies will play them if they beat the Reds. I want no part of that team right now. Don't tell me about the bullpen. I don't care. When you score 10 runs a night, what difference does it make?
No, everything's great in Philadelphia, especially with A.J. Brown. All right, 888-710-4ISN. 888.
You can't get to me. Go after Manny.
4476. I commend Manny for showing up today. That was brutal. We'll get into the Yankees side of things and how they let that one, let's say, get away. I mean, they got outmanaged. They got outclassed by the Boston Red Sox. We'll get more into baseball. We've got so much football for you as well. Should Shedeur Sanders be starting over Dillon Gabriel? Browns are making a change, reportedly. Maggie Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff. I asked a question before the show in the newsroom. Can we do this narrative that Aaron Judge is a choker and Shohei Ohtani is a great postseason player? Because I feel like the two are tied together, but not really. We're kind of caught in limbo here because Judge was 2 for 4. He didn't have the massive runs that Shohei had. But is that instinct right to compare the two in their postseasons? Or is Judge was that more on the Yankees as a team that they lost their opener to the Red Sox?
Well, Judge has not been a good postseason performer.
I know that.
So
right.
I guess like you could say that he really needs this one to be good. He had a hit in the first inning, he had a hit in the 9th inning, got on base, not the home run that you needed, but did get on base, kept things moving. This was not Aaron Judge's fault. The problem is he's got an elbow injury that's kind of sneaky where Red Sox have a runner who's trying to stretch a single into a double, hit to right field. Normally, Aaron Judge guns that guy out by 4 feet. He could normally gun that guy out at third, but because his arm, he's got to hold up a little bit and allowed a runner to advance, and that ended up being the run that scored. There was more insurance runs after that, but that gave them the lead, if I'm remembering that correctly from last night. So,
I don't think we're going to get the necessarily, because if they do lose to the Red Sox in this wild card round, I'm not sure we're going to see enough Aaron Judge to continue this narrative that he's like Clayton Kershaw or somebody, all-time great player who just can't perform in the postseason. But it feels like on the flip side, Shohei is the full package.
Yeah.
Like it feels like, I know last year he got hurt, but generally, like you could tell, like this moment is not intimidating for him at all.
No, now we're just waiting to see what the Shohei pitcher-hitter situation is going to be, right? Maybe not for the wild card round, but obviously as we get deeper into the playoffs.
I mean, maybe you're waiting for that, but he's on track, if my math is right, to hit 643 homers this postseason.
He started with a bang yesterday, leadoff home run. Let's go to Corey, who's in Dallas. We asked the question, Browns making a quarterback change, reportedly. Should they have gone to Shedeur Sanders before Dillon Gabriel? What's up, Corey?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, the Perloff, man, you got to cut Shedeur some slack, man, because when he played with the starters versus Dillon Gabriel playing with the starters, who had a better game and who had better college tape? That's all I want.
Well, Dillon Gabriel's college tape was fine, though, Corey. He was very successful. I mean, he killed it.
Who was better, though, who was better as a player, though, in college?
Shedeur.
I would give you Shedeur. But then again, you know what I mean? Like, is this the game to start Shedeur against a really good defensive coordinator and a good defense in Minnesota, in London? I don't think it's a perfect spot for either.
You got to throw him in the water something. I mean, you got to just throw him in the water. You got to take a leap of faith. If you don't perform, then go Dillon Gabriel.
Yeah, well, it's funny because, Corey, thank you for the phone call. Good to hear from you. I think that the Browns have to believe this is winnable, right? Even with Brian Flores' defense, I think they're looking at that next game in Pittsburgh. And I know the Pittsburgh defense hasn't been exactly what we thought, but that would be a really hard spot for a rookie on the road.
Well,
this is at least neutral, but see, to me, this is not really neutral because the Vikings have been in Europe for an entire week.
Well, definitely. I mean, the Steelers' defense has been bad. There's just been no way around that. So and they got the Dolphins coming up too. So that's a nice opportunity for the rookies to play well. I think at Pittsburgh, it's on the road, but Pittsburgh, Miami is a big step down from Brian Flores. That's why I kind of find this a curious spot. But Joe Flacco, he's actually not quite as bad as it looks, but there's something missing there. It's not the magic from 2 years ago at all.
No, it's not. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Okay, so are we done talking about the Yankees?
Oh, I got more.
Manny's giving a thumbs up. Now Andrew Bogusch is going to come in and get his licks in.
I guess my only question is, I think in some ways, it might be best for Aaron Judge if the Yankees get swept. Huh? Only because he doesn't have to deal with these conversations about is he a choke or whatever, because he played well in game one. If he plays well tonight and they lose, then I think the narrative, I don't think it goes away, but I think we kind of just pause on it.
No, Aaron Boone's wearing this one. The manager of the Yankees for pulling Max Fried after, 102 pitches, where he still presumably had left in the tank. You saw other managers push their starters yesterday with Tarek Skubal and then in this game, Garrett Crochet, and those managers got rewarded.
That's going to be the question. Is Boone going to survive this? Because it seems like everyone's killing him for the Fried thing. Fried's not typically been a good postseason pitcher, and he was great yesterday. So I don't know if that kind of came into Boone's head that he thought 4th, 5th, 6th inning was a little tough. But, man, you see Crochet go out there and give it everything, and you pull your guy short to go to a guy who has a 9 ERA in September in Luca and what's the name?
Luke Weaver.
That was tough.
I love New York baseball too, because if he had not pulled Fried and Fried had gotten hit, we would be ripping Aaron Boone for the exact same thing. Be like, Aaron Boone should have pulled the starter. This is
know your lineup.
I know the New York baseball conversation. It's the most reactionary fan base on planet Earth. Like whatever happened in the last inning is the truth for eternity. But the broadcasters said something interesting. They pulled Fried because, it's a long playoffs and they're going to want him later on. I'm like, I don't know about that. The stats are if you lose that first wild card game, you're in a desperate situation. Usually the team that wins the first game is going to win the whole little series. If they're thinking big picture where they're going to need Fried later in the postseason, that is a mistake.
Well, later now is going to be April if they don't win tonight. And, we've talked about this a little bit, and, some home field advantages are different than others. The fans in New York will boo anybody. And you have to wonder a little bit if the team is a little tight. Now, you get the home field advantage of literally being up last in the 9th inning. But, playing it in front of that home crowd, especially after the way last night's game ended with that uber disappointment, it's not like you lost 5-0. You had bases loaded, bottom of the 9th inning, no outs, and couldn't do bubkiss. That's going to be a ticked-off fan base as opposed to an excited one. Look at Manny right now. He can barely hold on.
Who the bleep is Manny Rodriguez?
Anyway, Bogusch is here. You know what I'm talking about. There are different home field advantages. Sometimes the home crowd gets you pumped. Sometimes they make you tight.
Make them tight tonight, boys.
Let's not openly be rooting against Manny. Again, we said this yesterday.
Why not?
What, Manny taking it hard.
Specifically, the Yankees as a whole leave? No, there's no holding back.
I don't want to be 5 against 1.
No, you can sit it out.
I'm a tie. I'm a tie. I don't care either way. I hate the Yankees and the Mets in this building.
Nice hat.
Listen, this is New York sports fans are on a bit of a low point right now after the Ryder Cup going to the possible Yankees loss.
New York crowd embarrassed themselves at the Ryder Cup. Now
if it goes bad tonight, I'm really curious. Like, what kind of fan behavior will we see? Because I do think
out in the streets.
I think America's watching. Well, no, at the stadium. I think America's watching New York fans now after the Ryder Cup. So if it really, I didn't notice it was a super negative crowd last night.
No, they got into it.
I saw Spike Lee looking like he was going to cry.
Was there no other celebrity there that they could cut away to? By the way,
it's so different. The Knicks get all these A-listers. The Yankees are like 1 or 2 random people.
Yeah, it's usually the SNL crew, but I don't know if anyone knows who those people are anymore. This would be bad if both New York baseball teams, who combined spent the GDP of a small country on their rosters, if both teams do not have a baseball game played after October 1st. That wouldn't be good.
Well, it sounds wonderful to me because the Mets aren't involved. They're already out. So getting the Yankees out by Friday sounds like a pretty perfect world to me.
Okay, let's do the update, and I'm sure you're delighted.
I'm definitely not going to mention the Yankees in this.
You are glowing today, by the way,
Headlines are sponsored
they haven't
by
lost yet.
PrizePicks. Football's heating up, and so is the hard-hitting action on PrizePicks. Download PrizePicks and use code PRIMETIME and get $50 in bonus credit instantly when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. Yes, in the Bronx last night, we went from Trent Tanks to Trent Tank Jobs.
He throws. Fastball swung on and missed. He got him. Chapman leaves the bases loaded, and the Red Sox win Game 1, 3-1 in the Bronx.
That, you might have guessed, is Red Sox radio. Trent Grisham blown away by Aroldis Chapman, the third straight out he got after the first three batters in the ninth inning singled to load the bases. The main Yankee problem last night was Garrett Crochet, the Red Sox ace, retiring 17 straight at one point. He told manager Alex Cora pregame the only reliever Cora would need would be Chapman.
Just being arrogant, to be honest. I didn't actually expect that to be the case, but when he sent me back out there, I was determined to leave it that way.
It was the case because Crochet went 7 2/3, allowing just one run on 4 hits, 11 Ks. Chapman then got the final 4 outs. Far less drama in L.A. as the Dodgers rocked the Reds 10-5, going deep 5 times in their opener, 2 of those homers from Shohei. In the afternoon, the Cubs snuck past the Padres 3-1. Seiya Suzuki, Carson Kelly go-ahead back-to-back homers in the 5th, while 4 relievers did not allow a base runner over 4 2/3. Tarek Skubal K'd 14 Guardians over 7 2/3. The Tigers took Game 1 in Cleveland 2-1, despite José Ramírez getting to third base with nobody out, bottom 9. The bad news now for the Yankees, the Reds, the Padres, the Guardians. The Game 1 winner has won all 12 wild card series so far, 10 of them ending in sweeps. All Game 2s, same schedule today.
I couldn't believe that stat, by the way, when I heard that yesterday. I was like, wow, it's only a 3-game series.
So if it's going to be, let's say history, we continue on and it continues to be this overwhelming advantage, right, for the Game 1 winner.
Yeah.
Do you just go back to the 1-game wild card? I mean, it was such maximum drama. It was horrible when your team was playing in it.
I thought it's funny as a sports fan, it was too intense for me. I'm like,
couldn't handle it?
Because they work for 162 games and then it's gone in the blink of an eye. I'm actually more comfortable with a 3-game playoff.
I like this better too. Because to me, the 1 game, what I hated was you have sometimes a 98-win wild card versus an 83-win wild card, and the 83 wild card would win. It's like
this still happens.
Yeah, but if you got one good starter, you get through the game and then you've moved on, it doesn't show you're a better team. You might just have one great starter. I think this is a little better.
I don't know if this is showing that, though.
I know, to be fair, I know.
Everyone wins who wins Game 1.
I think the 10 sweeps might be the more alarming thing. Because even if you got the Game 1 winner can win the whole thing, but they were 3-game dramatic series, and it was sometimes the better seed, sometimes the lower seed. But 10 sweeps makes it feel like something might be off.
And it has nothing to do with the home field.
I guess
you
not.
didn't mention that. It's not like it has to be the home team was winning.
No.
Baseball is a no rhyme or reason postseason these days.
Yeah,
and even if you don't have the best start, you might have the best bullpen, or you might just get lucky on a given night. I feel like how many close games did we have last night? So
3 of the 4 were close.
Yeah, they could all these narratives could change on a dime.
I also feel like when they lose that Game 1, because they know it's such a short series, I think they're so tight going into Game 2.
Exactly.
I think the pressure of the world is on them. Whereas a 5-game series, 7-game series, you lose Game 1, you got some time to come back.
According to agent Drew Rosenhaus, things went as well as possible for Tyreek Hill during his knee surgery yesterday.
There's no nerve damage, no blood flow issues, no broken bones. The cartilage is fine. The goal is for him to be ready to play next season. It's only one surgical procedure. There was some concern that it might be more than one surgery. But right now, everything went as well as we could have hoped for.
That's Rosenhaus speaking to the ABC-affiliated Miami.
We're getting a flashback to when Drew Rosenhaus was sitting there with Willis McGahee and convinced the Bills to take him despite an obvious leg injury. He's like, God, Willis will be back any day now. And then he missed his rookie season, right?
The fact that we all saw Willis McGahee's bones sticking out of his legs, basically.
Yeah. Drew's like, nothing to see here. Yeah, that's why I'm having trouble, because we all saw that Tyreek Hill injury. It looks more. It looks like much more severe than just a year, and he'll be back to normal.
And the thing that people were confused by, and it might have just been Drew not speaking correctly since he's not a doctor, but he said that the ligaments went back into place naturally during this thing, which no one knows what that means, like medically or just like through English sentences.
They just snap back into place. Like
it was a dislocation, so he's saying the knee, when you put the knee back in, it kind of fell into place.
That has to be what he meant, because I had a shoulder dislocation.
Yeah. Sometimes
it will go back into place the first time it happens sometimes. So I assume that's what he meant.
Yeah.
Because there's no way you can't repair a ligament. Doesn't just repair itself.
Snap, right?
Yeah, that doesn't exist.
I was thinking the same thing.
Mess.
The shoulder, when the shoulder gets out of its socket, sometimes it goes back and you're totally fine, and you go right back in the game.
That happened to me. Yeah.
I just love that that Drew Rosenhaus has to come in and do all this medical update, because I don't think they trust Mike McDaniel to stand up at a press conference and deliver this news.
Oh, I don't think that's right. I don't think the Dolphins are not claiming Tyreek Hill anymore. They want nothing to do with it.
This is over.
And I don't even know if they want Mike McDaniel, but they definitely were like, when he said he could come back in a year, that I don't think that's to Miami.
No, I was surprised they actually didn't flash Drew Rosenhaus's cell phone at the bottom of the screen when he's talking, so you can just call me.
Yeah, I'm not even sure the Dolphins send their doctor to do this.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I don't know. It's very weird. Like, there was another thing that people pointing out, is like that he went to a regular hospital and had this all done within a day. That, because a lot of times with ACL surgery, you let swelling go down, you don't do things right away, or sometimes you get it was done by Dr. blah, 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 like
Neil Elitrosh.
Right, exactly. And
James Andrews. We get all the celebrity doctors.
Right. But that's the thing, where this is the noted sports hernia surgery guy, and this would just seem to be like whoever was on rotation yesterday.
Yeah, like an ER doctor.
Yeah. What's the line from Fletch? Dr. Rosen? He's pretending to be a doctor. I think Drew Rosenhaus, this game was in South Florida. They're going to have orthopedic surgeons on speed dial.
No, I don't think it's that simple. This is a high-level elite athlete. I do think usually you go to Neil Elitrosh. James Andrews.
He's in L.A.
Is retired. I know. I'm surprised actually that they didn't fly him to L.A. to do this.
I wonder if the dislocation kind of led to some of this urgency. But then it's weird when you hear Drew Rosenhaus say, "Well, it went back in place by itself." So why was there the urgency?
Well, they did. He got in an ambulance and went straight to the hospital during the game, right? So obviously that was a big deal.
And what's his name? Dr. Chow said, the famous Twitter doctor, that if there was real damage, he would have had surgery that night. Like if they were concerned about arteries and stuff like that. So the fact that they didn't have surgery until the following day was actually good news.
I'm going to do my top 5 celebrity sports doctors after the break. I'm ranking them.
I got 2. I can't go deeper than 2.
I got 100.
100?
This is hard list to whittle down. Just off the top of the
Do you guys know more than
Wait, don't.
2?
I'm going to do it next.
So there's...
No.
Yeah.
I'm not going to name a name.
Please.
But I think I know a name of the guy that you go to when you have sports hernia surgery.
Oh, really?
I think he's actually in Philadelphia.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. After the break, my top 5 sports doctors of all time.
Wow. Can't leave your car for that one. Maggie's top 5 sports doctors of all time.
Oh, who cares?
I've been working on this list for months, just waiting for the one moment.
I mean, you are very happy to be doing it right now.
I'm back of the envelope. I've waited my whole life for this. This is working in sports for 20 years. This is like the test I feel like I'm going to ace. Also, Brock Purdy is a toe. I'll tell you who he saw yesterday.
Dr. Scholl.
I wish America could see the look on Perloff's face when you said that. He was so befuddled.
Can you put a sensor in a butt cheek?
Oh, somebody does have a butt injury.
Yeah.
We'll get to that also. Maggie Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Perloff Show. Before I get to my top 5 greatest sports doctors of all time, which I'm sure everyone's on the edge of their seat for. Quickly, Sean is in Atlanta. We were asking, should Shedeur Sanders be starting over Dillon Gabriel? You got the Cleveland Browns reportedly making quarterback change. What's up, Sean?
Good morning. I agree with you, Maggie. Perloff, you're showing me that I don't know how much you know about football.
Okay.
It's clear to me, anyway, that Shedeur has the higher ceiling. I've seen it in college. I've seen it in the very first game he played in the preseason. And I don't look at his second preseason start as anything. He was behind a lot of people, went back to being janitors on the offensive line, no time to throw. I throw that out. Put Dillon Gabriel in that also. They have Gabriel throwing dump-off short passes.
Mm-hmm.
Shedeur has the whole passing field that he can throw to. The first game he played was so impressive.
Well, Sean, okay.
He has the higher ceiling.
Sean, you watched Shedeur to Colorado, presumably, right? He always tried to extend plays and make a play, in part because he needed to. But that's not, and same thing's happened to Cam Ward in Tennessee. That's not going to work in the NFL. You know, the Shedeur, and everyone says he's not athletic, which I always thought was kind of weird because he definitely can scramble. There's no doubt about it. He keeps playing as alive forever. The problem is for both Cam Ward and Shedeur, and I said this last year, they hold on to the ball forever. And it's in the NFL, you can't do that. You could get away with it at college, especially if you have kind of a weaker schedule.
Well, Caleb Williams, I think, is also the poster child for that. He took so many sacks. And thank you, Sean, for the phone call. Well, you saw it a little with Jackson Dart. In his first start, he got beat up because he was also trying to scramble. And it was actually a lot more design runs, but he was getting really beat up as well. But Pearl, here's the thing. Dillon Gabriel is also going to get
No, that's
beat
the thing
up.
about Dillon Gabriel. Presumably, if everything works right, he's going to get the ball out of his hand immediately. That's what everyone says. Like, he's going to run Kevin Stefanski's system and just throw quickly to avoid the rush. He better. He better, but
it's also his first NFL start. So, there could be some.
That's why Cleveland has Dillon Gabriel ahead of Shedeur Sanders on the depth chart because he runs the offense better.
See, I think that the Browns have no rhyme or reason to who's where and what's going on. I just don't trust them. Jeff's in Minnesota. Jeff, you're not feeling great about your Vikings? Now you're facing a rookie QB.
Oh, thanks, Maggie, for reminding me. I appreciate that. You're very nice.
It's the facts. You're good.
I know. If I could quote Denny Green, they were who we thought they were. And
they are who we thought they were.
Exactly. Thank you, Denny. And God bless you. I tell you, this high ankle sprain that McCarthy has is going to haunt him for the next coming months. I hate to say this, but I wish he would have just broke it. They could repair it, and he'd be ready to go in 2 months. But he's going to feel this for a long time. And I wish we had playmakers on the Vikings. What
are you, crazy? You've got Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. What do you mean you don't have playmakers?
He's being sarcastic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm being sarcastic.
Sorry, I bit that one.
Yeah,
I'm
that's what we have to be up here in Minnesota so we can just get through the 8:30 in the morning game. But I'm not looking forward to this Sunday. I think this is going to be the European tour of death for the Vikings.
Oh my gosh, Jeff. No, you're in a good spot. And now I don't know what Jeff was, sarcastic, not sarcastic. I feel like a rube. But your team's already acclimated. They're already over there.
Yeah.
The novelty of it. You got guys who probably have never been overseas before. You're acclimated. You're in. You have a way big advantage in this game.
Oh, I think you have a major problem coming around that edge at 1,000 miles an hour named Myles Garrett. The Vikings O-line, they tried to throw some money at it this offseason, but they are now have so many injuries to deal with after last week, especially with Ryan Kelly getting hurt. So I think this is going to be a very scary game. Also, I worry about Jordan Mason, who's their backup running back who's playing. He seems to have a big fumble coming. His ball security makes me very nervous. Tries to extend runs. Yeah, this is not an ideal situation for either team. I don't think either team looks like they're headed to good places.
So J.J. McCarthy did practice this week after he had not practiced since that Week 2 loss to the Falcons. All right, quickly. We're talking a lot about injuries. I have my top 5 greatest sports doctors of all time. Okay? I have an also receiving votes here. I'll take the drum roll now. So I have the also receiving votes. I couldn't ascertain, Pearl, if he's actually a doctor. The guy who wrote Inner Excellence, the A.J. Brown book that he was reading on the sideline, Jim Murphy.
He's a sports doctor?
Well, I don't know if he's a sports psychologist. I could not tell whether or not he was a doctor. So instead, I'll put him also receiving votes. Number 5 is a guy named Robert Nedeffer, who wrote the book The Inner Athlete. It's like one of the first big sports psychology books. He's number 5 on my list of most famous sports doctors. Number 4.
Okay.
I got to think about your holistic health here.
All right,
the brain
all right.
matters, guys.
Yep.
Number 4 on my list is our friend Dr. Rock Positano.
Hell yeah.
Been on the show many times. Always brings a live foot of his assistant Kaylee. And
Got a Dodgers championship ring from last year and probably get another one.
fantastic. Number 3 on my list is Dr. Neil Elitrosh, Aaron Rodgers guru. Made it into the Aaron Rodgers documentary Enigma. Number 3 is Dr. Frank Jobe, the man who performed the first Tommy John surgery on Tommy John. And, of course,
Fitting.
the number 1 sports doctor of all time, the GOAT, the legend, Dr. James Andrews. Anytime Dr. James Andrews is in an article or mentioned, certain doom. But also recovery. So there you go. How's my list?
Oh, it's great. I love all those guys. I met James Andrew at an Auburn game. I assume he's retired by now. Yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know about the sports psychologist. That's a whole different field.
Coming up next, great debate.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Well, the Browns finally making a quarterback change, reportedly, and they are going to go to Dillon Gabriel as Joe Flacco takes the seat. But we're asking you, should they be going to Shedeur Sanders? Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. This game is in London. They're playing the Minnesota Vikings, who have some quarterback issues of their own, with J.J. McCarthy now practicing this week after the high ankle sprain. It's been Carson Wentz for the last 2 weeks. But, Pearl, when I look at the two backup quarterbacks, and this is a question we were asking all summer long, who actually has the higher ceiling from Dillon Gabriel or Shedeur Sanders? To me, it's Shedeur Sanders. I think that he still will end up being the better pro. Not that Dillon Gabriel's not capable, but if you're asking me who is, has the higher ceiling, because both guys are getting thrown into a terrible situation here, having to face the Vikings defense, I think I would have gone straight to Shedeur rather than go to Gabriel if I'm really trying to win games.
But, I think that the narrative out of Cleveland, and I guess people aren't believing that, is that Dillon Gabriel's more ready to go. He's more polished, fits Kevin Stefanski's offense better, where it seems like everything Cleveland said that Shedeur needs a lot more work. But I guess we're just ignoring all that. Is that just because the Browns are not a trustworthy franchise? The NFL they said that message out in 1,000 different ways. They would never move Shedeur up the depth chart. They kept saying he's not ready to go. He needs more time. I guess it seems like all the callers don't believe that at all.
Well, because it's not like he started 12 games in college and Dillon Gabriel started 60.
Yeah, Dillon Gabriel started more games than anybody in the history of the sport.
Right,
He's the number one. I think he has the record.
He does, but Shedeur also
played a long time, but
was a 4-year starter.
Right, but at the FBS level, not quite as much.
Okay, well, he had 2 years starting at Colorado, where Dillon Gabriel started where? UCF, then to Oklahoma, then to Oregon?
That's a pretty big deal.
No, it's fine, but it's not like Shedeur was playing at he was playing
He's playing
at
for
the
his
FBS
dad at
level.
Colorado in the Big 12. I mean,
he put up numbers, Pearl. Dion can't come in and throw the ball for him.
Shedeur was amazing in college, but it was the Shedeur show. I just think that it's a much different situation. I got the sense that he was able to freelance a lot more in college than he can at the pros. And I think there's no shame in it. He's a rookie. And the same thing with Dillon Gabriel. And they're not first-round picks. They're not number one overall. It's like, it is kind of weird to go to a third-round pick in your fifth game. That does not usually happen. Third round is a backup round. This is an unusual situation. It just shows that they really weren't getting what they wanted out of Joe Flacco. Honestly, I think their plan coming in was this would be Kenny Pickett. And then for some reason, they traded away Kenny Pickett at the last minute because they didn't want to have 4 quarterbacks on the roster. So they're in a messy situation. That being said, I do think Cleveland's defense is the best unit of the 4 here. They're the best. Arguably, they could be the best defense in the league. So I think Minnesota's got a lot to be scared of here, too. Not just Cleveland.
Yeah, well, we'll see who ends up starting for Minnesota. I mean, I would imagine it's Wentz, but McCarthy is back at practice.
Yeah, I mean, why would you go to a guy who's on one good leg, who doesn't have a lot of experience in this situation? This is going to be won by defense. So I think you want the rookie, the quarterback who screws up the least. And Flacco's been screwing up. He's been making some big mistakes, ironically, for an older guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the Joe Flacco experience now, right? He's kind of an all or nothing dude. And for Carson Wentz, I mean, that final drive against Pittsburgh last week just couldn't have gone any worse for him. He shouldn't have even been out there because Mike Tomlin should have gone for it on 4th and 1 and ended the game. But he did get a chance to go out there, and it was penalties, and it was terrible passes, and it was just boneheaded moves.
He's down to no starting lineman.
I'm just saying, you bring him in to be a veteran to be poised in that situation, and it looked anything but. So I guess here's my point, though, about Shedeur and Dillon Gabriel. You're right. Probably should have been Kenny Pickett. They trade him away for a 5th-round pick right before the season starts. That was like just a whole weird situation once Pickett got hurt. But now you're down to 2 rookies, right? And I just don't even know whether the Browns really have any designs on actually scouting these guys to see who could take over as the quarterback of the future. Kind of feels like they're keeping the seat warm for whoever is the high pick next year that they'll mess up.
Don't you think they're taking sort of a wild uppercut here, taking a swing to see if either of these guys pans out, or at least if either of these guys could be a strong backup? I mean, listen, you don't find your starting quarterback in the 3rd and 5th round. It rarely ever happens. Of all the starting quarterbacks in the NFL, 75% of them were top 3 picks. So I just think they're taking a shot here, might as well, nothing to gain or lose otherwise. I mean, what's the point of doing Joe Flacco for 17 games? As you said all along, that's useless.
And it turned out to be. Well, they always will have that win over Green Bay.
They really should have won week 1. They blew that game, missed a field goal. So if they were 2-2 right now with the best defense in the NFL, they're number 1 in defense, then they're in that division for sure. Because the Ravens have fallen apart, the Bengals have fallen apart. So they would have every chance. That week 1 loss is going to stick with them.
888-710-4ISN. We've got a poll question up for you at Maggie and Pearl on X. Should Shedeur Sanders start over Dillon Gabriel? You guys are resounding no here on the internet. 80% saying no. All right, we're going to do some interesting things today, a little bit different. If you're into the rhythm of our show, then this will matter to you a little. If you're not, just you're along for the ride. Who cares? We do this thing called Maggie and Perloff's King of the Mountain, and we usually do it on Thursdays, but we're going to do it today. And what we're trying to do is find the greatest NFL team of all time. So we started with 25 of the greatest NFL teams of all time. Randomizer. EJ, do you have the video of the randomizer?
I do.
Randomly picking this? Okay. So for people who think we're manipulating this, we're absolutely not. And we started with 2 teams. It was the 1972 Dolphins against the 1998 Minnesota Vikings. The Dolphins won. They became the King of the Mountain. Week 2, 1972 Dolphins against the 1978 Pittsburgh Steelers. 72 Dolphins still won by a nose. Week 3, 1972 undefeated Miami Dolphins went up against the 1984 San Francisco 49ers. Joe Montana and the 49ers came through. So now they are the King of the Mountain. Last week, they beat the 1983 LA Raiders. And today, we get a new challenger. So first, the King of the Mountain.
Who is the King of the Mountain? Maggie and Perloff search for the greatest NFL team of all time.
Okay, so the reigning King of the Mountain is the 1984 San Francisco 49ers.
Dan Marino's year turned into Joe Montana's day. And the San Francisco 49ers became the first team in NFL history to win 18 games in a single season. They were not only champions of the world, but masters of the game.
Masters of the game. I'm voting for that team.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
All right, so today the 1984 San Francisco 49ers face off against your 1977 Dallas Cowboys.
Sometimes the best teams do not always win. This was not the case in 1977, as the Dallas Cowboys, the top offensive and defensive team in the NFL, a team rich in talent and deep to the 45th man, capped a truly marvelous season, a world championship season with their second Super Bowl victory, 27-10.
And the Cowboy coach, Tom Landry, getting a ride off on the shoulders of his team as time has expired and the Dallas Cowboys are the champions of the National Football League.
Phenomenal matchup. Absolutely love this one. A little more on this. So this was the 77 Dallas Cowboys, Pearl. You remember that they beat The Denver Broncos in Super Bowl 12, final score 27-10. Actually, they were nails that entire postseason. 3 playoff games won by a combined score of 87-23. They were awesome. Went 12-2 in the regular season. Had the number 2 offense, the number 8 defense. 10 Hall of Famers on this roster. Staubach, Tony Dorsett's rookie season, Randy White, Rayfield Wright, Cliff Harris, Mel Renfro, and then obviously Tom Landry and Tex Schramm as the coach and the architect of the team. But the Doomsday defense, led by Randy White, this was an amazing team and also a very fun and unique team who really enjoyed their success.
Well, I approach this a little differently. If you want to go off vibes, this team has vibes because you got Tom Landry and the outfits and the hat. You have the cheerleaders are taking over America at this time. The Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders started in 72 and probably were the biggest stars in that stadium at that point. And you have White Shoes Johnson, the kick returner who invented touchdown celebrations.
Yep.
So those 3 iconic things, the 84 Niners have none of that. The 84 Niners had a tricky West Coast offense that the rest of the NFL couldn't figure out. The Cowboys had just, as the kids say, Riz. I mean, this was the original IT team.
Okay, so actually we have a little audio from a video called America's Game going back through the 77 Cowboys, and they did this for a lot of teams. And here's Drew Pearson and Tony Dorsett reminiscing about just how famous that Cowboys team was.
The city of Dallas treated its heroes like Hollywood celebrities.
We were it in Dallas. We were like icons, rock groups, rock stars. There's Michael Jackson, then us. We played hard, we practiced hard, we worked hard, and we partied hard. We were a partying football team.
Great time to be a Dallas Cowboy. A great time.
Once we got somewhere, like a club or something, the line would be wrapped around the building, and of course, here comes the Dallas Cowboys. Right away, we're ushered in, and once we're inside, the attention that we would get would be phenomenal. A lot of things we did back then, I'm sure it wouldn't be acceptable nowadays if we had gotten caught, but we didn't get caught. We had a good time doing it.
That was a little from America's Game. I love the flashy 70s music there. You can only imagine. And it was a good time to be a Dallas Cowboy, and they won the Super Bowl. And again, Tony Dorsett and the Doomsday defense on that side of the ball. A couple of things that stood out to me about this. I did not know just how difficult it was for Tony Dorsett in this season. So he was coming off the Heisman. He's, got all the confidence in the world. And at that time, very different time than today, the team felt it was like their responsibility to basically take him down a few pegs. And they did. And they kind of beat him up to the point where he sort of started to lose his confidence. He did not even start until like week 10 of this season. And Tom Landry was really hard on Tony Dorsett, and he talks all about it. He thought he was, kind of a prima donna, and they had to, really try to put him in his place. But ultimately, they didn't hurt themselves, but they could have because they almost shot his confidence, Pearl.
Oh, yeah. Again, I'm going to go with rose-colored glasses. I was just thinking, was that the year he had the 99-yard touchdown? And no, it was not. But he did. That year he had the first 200-yard game.
Yes, and he had this really amazing touchdown where Tom Landry, he basically did everything opposite of what Tom Landry told him to do, and Landry said he had to actually rethink, all right, how am I going to coach Tony Dorsett? He's not just going to be a robot out there. He's going to, run for daylight, and he has his own vision, and he just had to trust Dorsett.
Yeah, this team is definitely way more famous in a sense than the 84 Niners. Like the 84 Niners were not iconic in the same way. I feel like the Cowboys and Steelers, what happened in the 70s, still has ramifications today. The reason ESPN's First Take leads with the Dallas Cowboys is this team. That's the irony. It's not Jerry Jones. Like, there are generations. What happens in the NFL is your grandfather liked the team, your father liked the team. That Cowboys team went way bigger than Dallas. So in my neighborhood in Philadelphia, there was 9 Eagles fans and 1 Cowboys fans. I don't know if it was like that where you grew up. There are always these random Cowboys fans.
Yep, always.
And it started with that era.
Okay, so this is also fun from that America's Game video. So this is Thomas Hollywood Henderson explaining the time he got into a fist fight in the locker room with his own teammate, Randy White.
Randy White, one of the strongest men in the National Football League. Thomas Henderson, cocaine addict. That wasn't fair. That wasn't a fair fight.
Randy proceeded to just lift him up, and I think he lifted him with one arm and slammed him into the locker, and it was over pretty quickly.
He picked me up, he stuffed me in my locker, then he had me pinned to the floor. And I said to him, while he had me pinned to the floor, if you let me up, I'm gonna kick your ass.
Whoa. And that was the voice of Charlie Waters there, too. I mean, this was some characters. Drew Pearson also talking about that story as well. So this was interesting. This was an interesting team. So that's the king of the mountain for you. The 1984 San Francisco 49ers against the 1977 Dallas Cowboys. Who are you voting for?
I'm looking at the all-time NFL list. That Cowboys team is pretty high, 17. Obviously, that Niners team is a lot higher. This might be dangerous for the 84 Niners, but the Cowboys are so popular. I wonder if they could knock them off. Also, I noticed in this King of the Mountain, people, I think, will just vote to knock somebody off because they want to see new teams. You get tired of voting for the same one every week. That kind of hit the 72 Dolphins.
Yeah, that's true. And now the 84 49ers have been King of the Mountain for 2 weeks. So we'll see what the 77 Cowboys do. You can vote. This is all about you. At Maggie and Pearl on X. You can give us a call, 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Coming up in the final hour of the show, MattMosley will join us from the Doomsday Podcast, obviously a nod to the Doomsday defense, and he will reminisce about that team and talk about the current Cowboys as well.
Yeah. He will also have updates on Jerry Jones, who is still saying things like that's the one thing that the modern Cowboys have Jerry Jones. The 70s Cowboys had a lot of different things. Like Jerry's trying to keep the legend going.
Yeah, he was on one yesterday, too.
Yeah.
You would have thought he won the Super Bowl yesterday, the way that he did his interview with 105.3, The Fan in Dallas.
I mean, he's coming off that big win/tie.
He literally said, I woke up at 4 a.m. I was so excited to talk to you guys on the radio. Like, he hadn't slept all night. It was like kid on Christmas morning, just opening up a brand new bicycle.
And he got a tie.
It's crazy. 888-710-4ISN. Coming up next, we have some news for you on one very important quarterback situation in the NFL. We'll do that in a minute.
How'd you do last night, Maggie?
Phenomenal. Because unfortunately for Manny, I had to go against his New York Yankees yesterday. But also pairing that up with a little WNBA. You're like, Mags, how are you coming up with these crazy combinations? It's not me, it's PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the app where all you do is pick 2 or more players across any sport, pick more or less on their projections, and if you're right, you can win big. And Pearl, I got an update for you.
Oh, yeah?
We already knew that PrizePicks was available in 40-plus states, but now California, Texas, Florida, and Georgia, that's our entire listener base, so come on over to PrizePicks.
Love it. I'm looking at some soccer. We got Arsenal going tonight. Or today. So there's a lot of different sports you can use here. Put your takes to the test. All transactions on the app are fast, safe, and secure. Don't miss any of the action this season with PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. Download the PrizePicks app today and use the code MNP and get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. That's code MNP on PrizePicks to get $50 in bonus credit instantly in lineups when you play $5. Win or lose, you'll get $50 bonus credit in lineups just for playing. It's guaranteed. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. Must be present in certain states. Visit PrizePicks.com for restrictions and details.
Mand P. You're in a 4-minute break. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie Perloff Show. We're doing a King of the Mountain today, trying to determine the greatest NFL team of all time. And man, we start off with a bang. Doing this every week, and we've had some of the greatest teams of all time. Today, we pit the last week's winner, 1984 Niners, versus the 77 Cowboys. Another great, iconic team. I mean, we don't have any duds in this list. I'm curious. I think there's a chance, Maggie, that the Cowboys knock the Niners off. And I'm counting on some Dallas Cowboy popularity because I think a lot of people are Cowboys fans who do not like Jerry Jones. You can vote on our poll here and you vote for the Cowboys and send a note to Jerry. Hey, bring back the glory days.
888-710-4ISN. I mean, Jerry's the one who showed Tom Landry the door, right? 888-710-4476. Let's go to Sam in North Carolina, wants to weigh in on our other question today, which is, should Shedeur Sanders be starting over Dillon Gabriel, the Cleveland Browns reportedly making quarterback change? What's up, Sam?
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
We're great.
Hey, well, I do want to weigh on that, but I got to tell you, first of all, that 84 Niners team would mop the floor with that Dallas team. That from a Niner fan, of course. But also the admission of Dr. Harry Edwards from the list. That hurt a little.
I should have done that. I felt bad about, as soon as I did it, Sam, Harry Edwards, who is obviously an iconic figure.
Harry Edwards is not a sports doctor. Can we come back to planet Earth here? What are you guys talking about?
But I did a sports psychologist in there, and I feel
Harry
like
Edwards is not a sports psychologist.
I know, but he's like a history professor of, isn't he he's like a history and civic and
he's a sociologist.
You're putting him on the same list with Neil Elitrosh?
He's got doctor in the title. And the other guy I felt bad about leaving off is Dr. Bennett Amalu, right? He was the famous doctor, the concussion doctor who Will Smith played in the movie. Now, he wasn't a sports doctor. I think that was part of his brilliance, was that he was coming at this from a different angle, but he did a huge service for all of his study of concussion.
It's called major mental illness. What? All right, you know what? You said, you teased, I'm going to do my top 5 sports doctors of all time off a story about Tyreek Hill's knee, and you feel bad for not putting Harry Edwards on there.
Well, I did expand it to greatest sports doctors, and I put a famous sports psychologist on
What
there.
was the joke that you didn't say? Go ahead. The one that you should have put number 1.
Should have put Dr. J.
Yeah. Dr. J is as much a medical doctor as Harry Edwards.
What's wrong with you people?
Are we forgetting Dr. Gooden, too?
Yeah. Doc. If there's actually one person I don't want performing my surgery, and I love the guy, but it's definitely Dr.
I can't believe it. Sam, you're better than that, too. I'm actually not disappointed, Maggie. But, Sam, you're better than that.
Well,
but
hey, anyway, on the Cleveland situation, I think it is Dillon Gabriel. It seems to me like the league is kind of cycling back to the Bill Parcells theory, where you want the guys with the most starts. My concern for Shedeur would be, is he going to be like our guy, Trey Lance, where he just simply needs the reps that he's never going to get? I do think he's the better athlete. I don't know that he's the better quarterback. And I got to tell you, on McCarthy there in Minnesota, you guys were talking about him. I'm wondering in that situation if they would not have better off going with the Green Bay formula like Love and just giving him a couple years. To me, the kid doesn't look ready.
Yeah.
High ankle sprain or not. I get the feeling he's one of these guys you might not find out until 2 or 3 years down the road.
Yeah,
but
Sam,
he doesn't have that luxury now.
Definitely not. And Sam, thank you for the call. Fun call. Especially not after they let Sam Darnold go to Seattle, passed on Aaron Rodgers. Like, the Vikings went with J.J. McCarthy. And
they kind of had to. They picked him number 10 overall. You have to see if that investment's going to pay off, because you can't, I know the Jordan Love thing, but you're going to come up on a second contract pretty quickly. Green Bay seems like an anomaly. Everyone's like, well, you just draft a quarterback in the first round, let him sit there for 3 years. That's worked for one franchise and one franchise only.
Also, I don't think that was the Packers' plan when they drafted Jordan Love. I think they were shocked when Aaron Rodgers won the other MVP.
Yeah, you could be right. Or maybe they it actually lit a fire under Rodgers. So in a way, it worked in a way they might not have expected.
To be honest, I thought Tom Brady was the MVP that year anyway, but Rodgers got it. He's got 4, and Jordan Love had to sit and wait.
Yeah, I mean, they probably both threw 45 touchdowns and 3 picks.
They were both amazing that year.
Yeah, I think at that level, they're all the same. Yeah, I don't know what J.J. McCarthy's going to happen here. It is a really tough situation. I feel like the Vikings have these great weapons with Jordan Addison, Justin Jefferson. Their run game is a bit of a mess, but it seems like, are we worried about wasting Justin Jefferson now? That popped into my mind.
Well, this is a tough spot. You had a team that won 14 games last year, and now it's like the timelines are off. Yep. And now you're going to, give a rookie time to develop? And again, J.J. McCarthy had basically one good quarter and a comeback against the Bears. Let's get to Andrew Bogusch, who's got a lot from yesterday.
All the headlines are sponsored by Progressive Commercial Insurance, protecting your business vehicles 24/7. See if you can save at progressivecommercial.com. There are definitely worse ways to start a playoff game.
2-1 pitch. Ohtani turns on a ball, hit deep to right field. It is gone! Shohei Ohtani kicks off the postseason with a bang! A rocket over the out-of-town scoreboard in right field. His leadoff shot makes it 1-0 Dodgers in a hurry.
Steven Nelson on Dodgers radio. That solo shot, bottom one, came off Ohtani's bat at 117 miles an hour. Hunter Green's pitch came in at 100.4, the fastest Shohei has ever turned around for a homer. He added a 2-run shot. Teoscar Hernandez also went deep twice. Tommy Edman once. The Dodgers dropped the Reds 10-5 in their Game 1 at Dodger Stadium. A lot of offense for L.A., but Dave Roberts wanted to talk about his starting pitcher, Blake Snell.
Blake was fantastic tonight. You can see that he was in complete control. The fastball was great. The changeup was plus. Kind of mixing and matching, and really was in control the entire game.
Snell allowed 2 runs over 7 with 9 Ks. Garrett Crochet K'd 11 Yankees over 7 2/3. Aroldis Chapman a 4-out save, leaving the bases loaded bottom 9 for a 3-1 Boston win at Yankee Stadium. And then there's Tarek Skubal, 7 2/3, 1 run, 3 hits, 14 Ks in Game 1 in Cleveland.
Winning is what matters to me. It's mattered to me all year. I think winning is the most important thing in sports. It's why you play, is to win. And however I can make an impact on the win, maybe that's a different answer, but I care about winning more than anything.
His Tigers won 2-1 despite the Guardians getting José Ramírez to third base to start the bottom of the 9th. All 4 Game 2s are today, following the same schedule as yesterday. Away from the postseason, the Angels are not bringing back manager Ron Washington. He says the team told him this is about performance only, not his health issues. Washington missed the second half of the season following quadruple bypass surgery. I don't know if you guys saw the tweet from the Angels announcing this.
No.
But
I did.
It led a lot of people to think that Ron Washington had passed away.
Oh, yes.
Did he have a halo over his head?
Well, it was 2 pictures of him, with one was higher than the other, and it was like a sky background.
He was in the clouds.
It was in the clouds.
Oh, no.
How dare you put Ron Washington in the clouds?
Because we're another day closer to death.
There's actually another kind of joke that we could make here about Ron Washington being super high up.
Oh, my gosh, Maggie.
Easy, Mags.
Listen, I didn't put it up his nose. Anyway.
Wow.
All-time great manager.
I mean, that's a long time ago, right?
Not really. It was in the 2000s.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, why did they put him in the clouds?
It looks like a memoriam.
That's not right.
Also, when you fire a guy, he's smiling, and it's like...
He's not coach his team anymore.
Kind of been a bad week for older managers, huh? I feel like Bochy, Melvin, Ron Washington, a lot of icons going down.
Well, Bochy's going to be back. I'm sure these guys are going to get jobs. There's so many openings. What about Atlanta? Isn't Snicker going to be out?
We don't know that yet.
Okay.
I think the assumption is he's going to retire, but I don't know that that's happened. That hasn't happened yet.
Twins got an opening now. You
Yeah.
gave us that story yesterday. Who else? Are we missing anybody?
The Pirates and the Mets didn't make a change. So you've got the Twins, you've got the Rangers, you've got the Giants, technically.
And depending on how tonight goes, the New York
By
Yankees.
Saturday, you'll have the Yankees on.
I was going to say, Aaron Boone is wearing this one big time. Bogues, I don't know if you're doing that story this hour.
No, I was going to let Manny have an hour break.
Yeah, the Yankees had bases loaded with no outs in the bottom of the 9th last night and couldn't get a run across. It's the people, Manny. We have to update them. I'm not reveling in this. I was commending you that you showed up today. But the series is not over.
He showed up today to sit here and do nothing.
Well,
Let's not
Chris is on
pretend
the
that he's
board.
like an Iron Man. The Yankees equally suck as much as the Mets, and I can't say a word. Oh, I'm going to say a word this week.
Literally, your feet are up.
Yeah.
I'm feeling less and less bad for you.
He barely does anything on a regular day. He's literally doing nothing today except telling Chris what to do.
Chris is doing a good job.
He is.
This is if the Yankees lose tonight, does Aaron Boone get fired? Around the horn, yes, no. Because the Yankees being open is obviously a big deal. The Yankees' job.
I'm going to say yes, even though I think the Yankees like Aaron Boone taking all of this heat for their front office. But I think if they fall that short again of a World Series, Brian Cashman will throw Boone to the wolves to quiet some fans down.
I would think yes. I do feel like there's something happening with the Yankees where, I don't know, like whatever magic they had seems to be fading a bit. Like
it's because a computer algorithm runs their team.
Well, I remember I mentioned yesterday, ESPN did this list. They had 25 experts pick their eventual World Series winner, and only 1 out of 25 picked the Yankees. There doesn't seem to be a lot of faith in this team, either locally or nationally.
Well, Aaron Boone's not a good in-game manager, and I think it's because he's following a script that is flawed by the front office. Not to take him off the hook. And then obviously the team last night, you can't blame Aaron Boone for having bases loaded bottom of the ninth and nobody comes through, but you kind of can blame Boone because the guys who are hitting in that bottom of the ninth outside of Judge and Stanton and Goldschmidt were probably the wrong guys to be up.
Well, I mean, we're gonna pinch hit for them there? I mean,
not those guys, but you could have been pinch hitting in the 8th inning for Austin Wells facing Aroldis Chapman, your catchers facing a guy throwing 101. That doesn't make any sense. Anyway.
They also put Jazz Chisholm into the game for defense first, and without a guarantee he was going to get an at-bat, and then the at-bat he got was in the 9th inning against Chapman, and he didn't start because you didn't want him to see Crochet,
who's
another lefty as well.
Well, anyway. I mean, running a team by an algorithm will win you a World Series. There's nothing wrong with that. That's the way to go. Like, is that your fault with them? Like, you think he should? You want to see Aaron Boone's instincts at work?
Well, I don't know. I don't think we have
once in
yet.
a while. Just whatever they decided about Max Fried, that process was flawed last night.
Yeah, the dreaded pitch count. But then again, if Max Fried had stayed in the game and let up 2 runs, then New York would have been riding Boone out of town too.
To be honest, I don't know that they would have. And there's always going to be irrational fans, but this is the complaint about Aaron Boone of taking guys out, going to the bullpen, making the wrong decisions. I do think Yankee fans, after the normal cooling off period after a loss, would have found a way to go, at least he left Fried in for a change. I think. Maybe giving them too much credit, but they all wanted Fried to keep pitching. If he stayed in the game and gave it up, maybe they would have at least acknowledged that they would have made the same decision.
They just hate Boone so much, though. I just don't know.
There's
I think
they
would have found a way to blame him somehow.
That's true.
Because remember, he pulled Garrett Cole to go with was it Lou Trevino in a playoff game, and Lou Trevino gave it up, and they blamed him for that. But then if he kept Cole in and Cole got beat, I think they would have blamed him for that too. I don't know.
You guys ever seen that Simpsons episode of baseball by any chance? The baseball episode. It's one of those famous.
The baseball one?
Yeah, where they had all 10 All-Star games where Darryl Strawberry hits 10 home runs and Montgomery Burns is the manager of the team, and he pulls him in the 9th inning with the bases loaded because he's a lefty going against a lefty. And he goes, sorry, Darryl, it's what good managers do to win ball games. And he puts in Homer because he's a righty. Oh, God, yeah. After 10 home runs, 10 home runs in a game, much like our favorite 9-time MVP.
Yeah, that's what Shohei looked like.
Yeah, sorry.
The Las Vegas Aces, by the way, they're back in the WNBA Finals, finally fighting off the shorthanded fever to 107-98 in overtime in their 5th and decisive game. Jackie Young, 32 points, 10 assists, and 0 turnovers. Vegas now hosts Phoenix, Game 1. First ever best of 7 WNBA Finals starts on Friday.
That was a barn burner last night, by the way. Shout out to the Fever who did it without Kelsey Mitchell, who got hurt late in the game. And they obviously haven't had Caitlin, no Sophie Cunningham. Somehow they were 1 game away from getting to the finals and in overtime.
She had crazy. Full body cramps. I didn't see it live. I saw it this morning. She half passed out. She just slowly collapsed.
Yeah,
and it was on the road.
Scary. Yeah. And it was on the road, yes. It was an incredible season, incredible effort by the Fever.
And finally, the Golden State Warriors have finally ended their staring contest with Jonathan Kuminga. We can all rest easily now. The restricted free agent who was looking for a sign and trade stays put. 2-year, $48 million deal, but that second year will never happen. The Dubs could trade Kuminga during this season or decline their option for that second season.
I was shocked something about Jonathan Kuminga that I looked up today. Do you know how old this dude is?
22.
He's still 22. How is that possible? He's been in our lives for a long time.
I was thinking when I saw the years and the dollar amount, I was like, that is the most insulting contract I've ever heard. Think of the NBA guys who get so much money. And I know they're doing this to trade him. I understand that. But Kawhi Leonard was making more from a fake tree planting company than Jonathan Kuminga's going to make for actually playing NBA games.
I've just never seen a team hate a player more and intend on keeping him. I mean, they just don't like him. They
haven't been able to find what they want, right? I love that guy.
It's a weird middle game because they're willing to match whatever any other team will offer him, which is not that much. And because he's not an unrestricted free agent, he can't just sign somewhere else.
Right.
So it's this weird game of chicken that won't continue next year when he opts out or if they let him opt out. But this was bizarre. And I hate these. I hate that the rookies can't just go and become free agents after 4 years. I know why, but it creates stupid things like this. If the Warriors don't want him, let him sign somewhere else.
He turns 23 next Tuesday, by the way. We have to celebrate Jonathan Kuminga's mid-range game and his birthday.
Yeah, how do we celebrate that?
Don't get a rebound.
Jump really high and he is a very talented player, ironically. He just doesn't seem to fit the Warriors at all, not even a little.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I'm not breaking down film, but apparently he is not committed to defense or rebounding, which seems to bother Steve Kerr.
He also seems to be very much like, the team lost, but I had a good game. He did that during the playoffs, and he did that during the regular season, too. Seems to be a me guy a little bit.
Who doesn't relate to that? Like, on the basketball court, if you can get a few threes to go down.
Did you guys see? I don't know if you guys saw Norman Powell at media day for the Heat. They asked him what his goals were. He was like, first, make the All-Star game, then avoid the playoffs.
That's always a good sign.
Everyone's like, oh, first goal, individual goal.
Yeah.
Then let's make the playoffs.
Yeah, I love when guys, they do that sometimes. There was one NFL, I forgot which rookie it was like, what's your goal for the year? It was like, become a superstar. I'm like, there you go. That's your foxhole guy. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Folks, thanks a lot. How about some shots fired? Yesterday, star athlete taking down the entire front office of a league. I don't know if I've ever heard anything like this before. Get to that next. M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. 1 minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. We got some shots fired here. When it comes
Big
to the
shots.
When it comes to the WNBA, welcome to the show. This one is going to get messy. And it already is. We'll get back to the NFL and stuff in a minute. You got the NBA MLB playoffs yesterday. Absolutely delivered. 3 out of the 4 games. Very, very tight, Pearl. And we had some major controversies in that Yankees RedSox game as well. But we got to pause for a second because Napheesa Collier decided to take over the news cycle when she put the WNBA leadership on absolute blast. So, Chris, I'm going to first ask you for cut 15. Napheesa Collier, this is her yesterday, talking about how the WNBA leadership doesn't care about its players.
Whether the league cares about the health of the players is one thing, but to also not care about the product we put on the floor is truly self-sabotage. Year after year, the only thing that remains consistent is the lack of accountability from our leaders.
Okay, it went on from there. I'll hear cut 17 next. Napheesa Collier says Kathy Engelbert, who's the commissioner of the WNBA, dismissed all of her issues about the refereeing and the fact that they're allowing, Pearl, this really, really physical play, especially to the stars.
At Unrivaled this past February, I sat across from Kathy and asked how she planned to address the officiating issues in our league. Her response was, well, only the losers complain about the refs.
Okay, more where Napheesa Collier now is spilling the tea on what maybe was a, presumably private conversation between a star player and the commissioner of the league when Napheesa Collier said Kathy Engelbert dismissed issues about Caitlin Clark and her salary and other stars.
I also asked how she planned to fix the fact that players like Caitlin, Angel, and Paige, who are clearly driving massive revenue for the league, are making so little for their first 4 years. Her response was, Caitlin should be grateful she makes $16 million off the court because without the platform that the WNBA gives her, she wouldn't make anything. And in that same conversation, she told me players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars for the media rights deal that I got them.
All right, so I don't know how much of that conversation Kathy Engelbert thought was going to become public, Pearl. And so for that, Napheesa Collier, wanted to make things messy and bring things public, probably because she's feeling like all of her concerns are not being heard or at least not being taken seriously by the powers that be.
Yeah, I mean, normally how this works is the players and owners fight pretty seriously. I go back to the 2011 NFL lockout. There were players and owners saying incredibly mean things about each other. But at the end of the day, we all knew they would make a very lucrative deal for both sides. The players also talked about healthcare and stuff they don't really care about because they really wanted the money. I think this is going way bigger than just the money, Maggie. I'm not sure if they're going to be able to solve this with an equitable financial deal.
Well, what's the difference here is that you're right. I think everyone believed there's so much money at stake that we can't, in the NFL and the NBA, that they're going to get a deal, though we do see lockouts happen, hockey as well. You've said this before about the WNBA, and I think you might be a little prophetic here. I don't know how it would happen, but you're like, some rich person could come and buy this entire league. That's where the difference is, right? Like, you have the NBA, who definitely is a big part of the WNBA, but they if somebody really wanted to start a rival league,
Oh, my God. The salaries are so embarrassing.
Now, they just signed a new rights deal.
Which is up the salaries a little bit, right?
Definitely, and there's going to be a big lockout. There's the collective bargaining agreement is expiring this summer, so obviously this is going to be a big, big summer of back and forth. But can we take it to whether it's the WNBA or not the WNBA? Was Napheesa Collier right to pull this tactic? Because this was, again, presumably a private conversation she was having with the commissioner of the league back in March, she said, right? So now you're bringing it all public. Maybe all's fair in love, war, and contract negotiations. So I'm not necessarily being critical here, but I don't know how many times you can push this nuclear button, right? Like, this is kind of blowing up the league, blowing up Kathy Engelbert, who yesterday they're saying she might be out now as commissioner because, if this is going to be so contentious. You can't go back to the well on this all the time, but was this the right move for her to do right now?
Gosh, that's a tough question. I'm not sure I can easily answer that. It does feel a little ridiculous. If I'm Kathy Engelbert, I immediately say, I know she released a statement, immediately say, none of that happened. It's all fake.
Wow. She said it was mischaracterized, that the conversation has been mischaracterized.
Right. Which, by the way, I say, even if I said all that, I just lie and say, no, I didn't say that. Because those things are way over the top ridiculous. The Caitlin line is obviously totally insane.
Yeah.
The thing about the officials
She should thank her lucky stars that she has a platform. It's
my God.
I don't know if that's how this is working with Caitlin.
Caitlin made more money in college.
Yeah.
So the WNBA isn't doing anything for Caitlin. It's vice versa. Then that line about the officials, I mean, come on. If that's real... If that really happened, then I don't love a private conversation being shared. But if that's true, I mean, they need to get this woman out.
Do you remember when Christine Brennan joined us? She wrote a book about Caitlin's rookie season, and she just said how woefully unprepared the WNBA was for the star that Caitlin Clark was. And the fact that behind the scenes, Kathy Engelbert said Caitlin should be on her knees thanking us for the WNBA. I was like, man, Christine can take a victory lap after that one.
I remember Christine said that someone said, well, it's just like when we had Maya Moore. Like, it'll be the same thing. We'll be able to handle this.
Yeah, right.
Which Maya Moore, legend, maybe the greatest player of all time, but in terms of, like, actual star power, it was just such a woefully terrible comparison in terms of what was going to happen to the league when Caitlin arrived.
No, that's like basically saying that Kawhi Leonard and Steph Curry are the same.
Right.
It's not. Great player, not bringing the same level of fan engagement, put it that way. Anyway, so this is going to get ugly. EJ, you're our resident WNBA expert here. Should Napheesa Collier had pushed this button right now? Because you can't go back to the well on this all the time. You got to blow up management, once?
Yeah, this is the nuclear button.
Yeah.
I think yes, but I would caution any optimism that this is really going to change much, because at the end of the day, as much as Kathy may be bad when it comes to interpersonal relationships, she's employed by the owners. So if the owners say, okay, this looks bad on us, like we got to get Kathy out of here, that's fine. But whoever they're going to get in there may be a better front-facing person sort of dealing with the players, but they're still going to, when it comes to the money issues, when it comes to how the owners think about these players, they're going to be a mouthpiece for them. So I don't know how much really changes in the negotiations.
Let's go to Big Friendly, who's in California. Friendly, we don't have a lot of time, but you think we're being too mean to Manny today because there are some people on the show who are reveling in the fact that the Yankees lost Game 1 in the most dramatic fashion possible. Good morning.
Good morning. And hold up. Wait a minute. Let Big Friendly put some reality in it. Did the New York Mets not sign Soto to give him whatever he's seen in New York besides the Yankees?
Yeah, they gave him $765 million.
And where is he at? Sitting somewhere on a beach with a beautiful, colorful drink with fruit and a little umbrella. And the Yankees are over here battling for a World Series. Manueli, my man, I'm in your corner. I'm not going to stand back here because the only team I fear in the playoffs are the Phillies. But Manueli, your boys are battling. Do not let no Mets fans who are waiting for spring training to say anything negative, my man. You the man, and you the man. Daddy cool. You the man, too. But Manueli, you the man. And you guys have a great day.
Big Friendly, Manny needed that. I see he's perked up now. Appreciate it. No one gives a pep talk like Big Friendly. You got to be within smelling range.
I feel like
Manny
is
the greatest thing he's ever said.
Manny is sort of Big Friendly's pet project. I feel like he really wants to help Manny fulfill his potential.
Totally. With all the dating advice and now the pep talk after Yankees lose game 1, I keep telling you, Manny, the season's not over. You have a game tonight. Now, history is not on your side, considering that, what was it, all 12 wild card series where the winner of game 1 goes on to win the series. Was that what Bogusch said? Yeah.
I have nothing nice to say.
Only 4
Thank you, Big
made
Friendly. I
it to game
appreciate
3.
that. But you know what? I kind of deserve all of this. I'm not a good person, so everything that gets thrown in my way, I deserve it.
Manny Wapo.
Well, it's not you are a good person.
Ask my ex-girlfriends. They say otherwise.
Well, by the way, I'm a little bit worried about the boomerang effect. If the Yankees win, he will be equally obnoxious as he is sad right
dude,
now.
imagine if the Knicks win a title. I'll be insufferable.
Well, good thing we don't have to worry about that.
Like the Sixers winning one.
You set yourself up for that one, Benny. All right. We'll get back to what happened with that Yankees debacle against the Red Sox yesterday, plus a lot of NFL news for you. Don't move.
Corbuccio wipes the bottom of his sneakers. He's guarded by Lawson. Play in action. Corbuccio gets the screen from Ratliff. Corbuccio driving. Finds Ratliff. Free throw line. Jay. Yes! Clock continues to run. Panthers have one final chance. Here's Kennedy. Kennedy with 5. Step back. Jay. Yes! Oh, Josiah Kennedy! Ice cold! Timeout Stepanek! Corbuccio wipes the bottom of his sneakers. He's guarded by Lawson. Play in action. Corbuccio gets the screen from Ratliff. Corbuccio driving! Finds Ratliff. Free throw line. Jay. Yes! Clock continues to run. Panthers have one final chance. Here's Kennedy. Kennedy with 5. Step back. Jay. Yes! Oh!
Well, the game was tight. The crowd was loud. The judge went down. Ain't no cheers now. Flicks are strained. They said real low. Like a punch straight through my radio. Manny Rodriguez sitting third row with his judge jersey and his heart broke slow. He stood up once, then he sat back down. Poured that pain till he couldn't hear the sound. Now he's blackout drunk in a parking lot bar, talking to ghosts and cussing at the stars. Why'd you take my hero? What did he do? Whiskey on his lips, Yankee tears in his boots. Bartender said, son, it's just a game. But to Manny, it's blood running through his veins. So pour one more shot to leave on the line for the kid who lost hope when we lost 99. Played shortstop in a little league town. Swung like Judge, always dreaming big now. Had the poster, had the swing. Hell, he even rocked that pinky ring. But the Bronx felt cold when Judge went down. Manny just drifted to another round. Talking like Judge was a brother he knew. Swearing he felt that pain too. Now he's blackout drunk in a parking lot bar, talking to ghosts and cussing at the stars. Why'd you take my hero? What did he do? Whiskey on his lips, Yankee tears in his boots. Bartender said, son, it's just a game. But to Manny, it's blood running through his veins. So pour one more shot and leave on the line for the kid who lost hope when we lost 99. Played shortstop in a little league town. Swung like Judge, always dreaming big now. Had the poster, had the swing. Hell, he even rocked that pinky ring. But the Bronx felt cold when Judge went down. Man, he just drifted to another round. Talking like Judge was a brother he knew. Swearing he felt that pain too. Maybe tomorrow he'll find his way home. But tonight, that pinstripe heart's alone, and the world just don't feel right. When your hero's down and out for the fight. Yeah, he's blackout drunk in a parking lot bar, praying that rehab ain't too far. Come back soon, Judge, we need you back. Man, he's got no tears left to be had. He don't want pity, don't want no side, just wants his hero back in that life. So pull one more shot and leave on the line till we rise again with our 99.
Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Browns making a change, and Lamar Jackson, his hamstring is acting up. The AFC North is in the news. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Got a lot of NFL news, but let's pause on these two stories just for a moment, Pearl. Number one, looks like the Browns are going to go to a rookie quarterback, but not Shedeur Sanders. It's going to be Dillon Gabriel. Reportedly, they're on their way to London right now to take on the Vikings.
We knew it wasn't going to be Shedeur Sanders. I mean, the Browns, in a million ways, told you Dillon Gabriel was number 2 on the depth chart. And it seems to me that Shedeur is a distant third for whatever reason. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but have you ever gotten a vibe coming from the team itself that they want to play Shedeur?
I think they're going to end up playing him, though, right? Like, I don't know if Dillon Gabriel now gets the job for the rest of the season. We'll see how he plays. But if you're asking me who do I think is going to end up being the better NFL quarterback if either of them ever get a real shot to start, I think it would be Sanders. And I think he has the higher ceiling. So, depth charts, whatever. I've seen the Browns pivot on a dime on plans that, it's like it's whatever way the wind blows sometimes for the Browns. Why did they even trade Kenny Pickett away? I mean, like everything about them seems to lack a lot of foresight. So, yeah, I was actually a little shocked that they didn't, that they didn't actually even maybe think about Shedeur. Mm-hmm. But the other part, this could end up helping him. The game in versus Minnesota, in London, that's tough. Brian Flores' defense against a rookie, good luck to you.
Yeah, I mean.
Then you're at Pittsburgh. There is a runway, though. Miami, at New England, at the New York Jets, which could be a little bit softer of a landing, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, those defenses are statistically at the bottom of the league. Minnesota was vulnerable to the short passing game. Like, they kind of got their pass rush the knees were cut out by Aaron Rodgers. That's what Dillon Gabriel can do. He can be a quick West Coast style quarterback. By the way, we would love Dillon Gabriel if Shedeur wasn't on that team. I mean, what's not to love about him? He's short, but he played a lot of college football, is reportedly a good dude. He's a lefty who can spin the ball. He's like a slightly sturdier Tua. I feel like this guy has got a bad rap. Listen, anybody's slightly. I mean, Tua was decimated by injuries at Alabama. So I'm just saying Dillon Gabriel seems sturdier so far. He's a little bigger than Tua was. I think he's a fascinating quarterback. I've always really enjoyed him. He throws a really tight spiral. I hope he does well. I kind of want to separate him from Shedeur. I feel there's so many Shedeur fans that unfortunately Dillon is in a bad spot because of that. But otherwise, we would be all about this kid. Nobody wants to see Flacco anymore.
This is a better reason to tune into that 9:30 a.m. Eastern game, though. That's for sure. So you've got reportedly Dillon Gabriel going to get the start against probably Carson Wentz, although J.J. McCarthy is practicing this week. He's missed the last 2 games with a high ankle sprain.
There is no way they put a not 100% J.J. McCarthy out against that defense, the number 1 defense in the NFL. There's just no way. It's going to be Carson Wentz, right? Why would you do that to McCarthy?
It does not seem right. But I don't know. I mean, maybe McCarthy shouldn't be playing this entire season. Maybe they should have actually went with Aaron Rodgers or stuck with Sam Darnold. On the other news out of the AFC North, Lamar Jackson has a hamstring issue that obviously took him out of the game against the Chiefs, the loss against the Chiefs. According to the Baltimore Sun, he's likely to miss this Sunday's game against the Texans and could miss 2 to 3 weeks. And the season from hell for the Ravens just continues, bro.
Yeah, because they also learned that they lost Matabiki, their best defensive player, or one of their best defensive players for the year. Even if Lamar Jackson was healthy, it'd already be a nightmare season because the defense has fallen apart so badly health-wise. I am really depressed because I have them as my Super Bowl team. I'm hopeful. By the way, he's not 100% out of this game.
Unlikely is what they said.
Yeah,
we'll
and the Texans have a good defense too. So this is, if Lamar somehow by miracle did play, I don't think this is a great situation for him. So the Ravens are in real trouble.
Yeah, so Lamar's actually been off to a really great season.
Yeah.
He's got 10 touchdown passes. He's averaging like 9 yards a pass. His passer rating is a 130. Like, he's not the problem. And we talked about this when Joe Burrow got hurt. It's like, could Jake Browning somehow hold the fort for the Bengals? Cooper Rush, I don't think, can hold the fort for the Ravens. Not because Cooper Rush isn't good. It's because of what we're watching with the Bengals. The defense is so bad that the defense can't actually hold things up until the quarterback comes back. Now, Lamar's injury is not nearly as severe as Joe Burrow's, which is keeping him out for 3 months / the whole season. But, you know, if the defense is going to be this toothless, then Cooper Rush or Cooper Manning or anyone could be back there. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, Houston's offense is equally bad, so maybe that gives Baltimore. Maybe Houston's offense is a get-right game for the defense. So this could be ugly. I don't know how this plays out if it is Cooper Rush. I mean, we've seen Cooper Rush fill in for Dak Prescott and win football games. He's absolutely capable of it. Even if there is no Lamar, I think Houston, all bets are off with the Texans. What do we know about this team? They feel like they could lose to anybody except the Titans.
Except for the Titans, who they shut out last week. I don't know. This is just so rough, though, for the Ravens, a team that is in their window. And you got to ask yourself, because it's Lamar and how he plays, even though Lamar is a much better passer than when he first came into the league and that most people give him credit for, but you start wondering about windows and you wonder about opportunities. And when you had that AFC Championship game at home against a Chiefs team that was coming in very weakened and just very different than we were used to seeing the Chiefs and how badly they played. Then going to Buffalo, a game that was also winnable for them. I know it was cold, Pearl, but, you know, it's the NFL playoffs.
He is not. That's a big issue. He has not won playoff games under 40 degrees.
But Mark Andrews, you know, really let them down that day with a lot of drops, key drops. Like, you just start wondering about.
He slipped on ice in the end zone.
You wonder about, like, just your moment. And I think where you worry about it more with Lamar, although you could worry about it with Josh Allen too, is just these guys who are are running quarterbacks. Josh in a little different way than Lamar, but he does expose himself to more injuries. And we see those quarterbacks have maybe shorter shelf lives than the Tom Brady types who can just sit back there and play forever.
Well, listen, we don't really have a full body of work. We're at a new time for NFL quarterbacks. Now every quarterback runs. It was never, ever like that. There's no more Eli Mannings. There's no more Tom Brady's or Peyton Mannings. So I do not know. I think Lamar is still going to be effective. The scary idea is Russell Wilson. Since Russell Wilson stopped being able to scramble, he's been one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL. I can't imagine Lamar, even at 50% of his speed, Lamar Jackson's still faster than Russell Wilson is now, even with a hamstring injury. Russell Wilson got slow. I don't know how it happened, but he was a great scrambler early on in his career. So will he be able to be good without running? I think he will be. You know what? We've counted out the Ravens before, though. I have to be honest. Like, John Harbaugh was on the hot seat about 6 years ago. Everyone was over, and then they figured out a way to turn it around. The franchise is resilient. Eric DeCosta, their GM, did train under the great Ozzie Newsome. I'm not going to write them off big picture. This missed window idea, I think it's too soon to talk about that.
Okay, well, the missed window, though, is not just about Lamar. And if you read Mike Sando's column from The Athletic this week, he's got his, pick six column or whatever. One of them was about the Ravens defense and how it's just so steadily declined over these years. And last year, they did a Houdini trick of being able to actually start with a terrible defense. And as the year went on, they got better and better. But I don't know if that's going to happen now.
But they've openly neglected the defense. They keep on drafting wide receivers to try and make Lamar Jackson into a pocket passer or something. Well, they don't need to. Lamar doesn't need these first-round receivers. Tell me the last legit defensive pass rusher they've drafted high. They think they can get all these bargains, and it turns out they can't. So they've drafted cornerbacks and safeties galore. And I'm taking this from Dan Orlovsky. They're playing the wrong kind of football. They tried to draft a team that could cover all the receivers of the 2021 Kansas City Chiefs. That is not where the NFL is now. You need a much more tough physical team because the Chiefs and the Bills now, what do? They start running the ball like crazy, and the Ravens aren't ready for it.
We'll see. They are scheduled to get some more defensive players back. Not Matabike, but Kyle Van Noy and some others. So we'll see about that. 888-710-4ISN. Did Lamar Jackson and the Ravens miss their best shot at a Super Bowl? It is Wednesday, which means it's time for the Great Debate.
The Great Debate Series.
All right, bro. I love this one.
Yeah, it's fun.
Today's Great Debate, which we do every Wednesday at this time on the Maggie Perloff Show, is who is the most likable team of all time?
Okay, I want to go last here because I feel like I have the hammer in this debate.
All right, I love my pick, so I'm glad to go first. I'll hit lead off here. The most likable team of all time was the 2016 Chicago Cubs.
A little bouncer slowly toward Bryant. He will glove it and throw to Rizzo. It's in time, and the Chicago Cubs win the World Series. The Cubs come pouring out of the dugout, jumping up and down like a bunch of delirious 10-year-olds. The Cubs have done it. The longest drought in the history of American sports is over, and the celebration begins.
1908 to 2016, 107 seasons, end the curse of the Billy Goat. The 2016 Cubs were the most likable team of all time, not just because they ended that curse, Pearl, and brought hope to not just Chicago Cubs fans, but also any fan of any team who'd been dealing with droughts like this. But they had to come back in this World Series down 3-1, showing that kind of mettle. They had very likable Joe Madden as their manager, and homegrown guys, these young dudes who all came up together. Chris Bryant, Anthony Rizzo, Javi Baez. They had cool veterans like David Ross and Ben Zobrist. John Lester beat cancer, for goodness sakes. He was the ace of that team. Jake Arrieta was fantastic as well.
You had to pull the beat cancer card, huh?
He beat cancer. I mean, I feel like I'm winning this going away.
Well, you're not
2016.
Why are you not saying the best player they had? What about Schwartz?
Schwartz tore his ACL and MCL in April and came back to play in the World Series. Also, guys, divine intervention. Game 7 against the Cleveland then Indians, a weather delay in the 9th inning. This was like forces greater than all of us that came to the aid of the Chicago Cubs, and everyone was rooting for it outside, I guess, LeBron James that day. 2016 Chicago Cubs. Most likable team of all time. All right, EJ, go ahead.
Great pick there, but when I think about the most fun sports event for everyone, I believe is March Madness. So when you think about March Madness, you think about underdog stories, the Cinderellas. Those are the lovable teams. And I think when you think about the most Cinderella team of all time, the one that really encapsulates the soul of what a Cinderella means, you have to go to America's team, the 99 Gonzaga Bulldogs.
Shot clock turned off. Calvary. Hall. 8 to shoot. Hall. The runner. Loose ball. It's good. With 4.4 to go. Shannon.
Don't want to foul.
Shannon from the corner. And it's over. Gonzaga. The slipper still fits. They win it. 73-72.
The slipper still fits. That's Gus Johnson. Still gives me goosebumps as the Zags beat Florida to advance to the Elite Eight of the 1999 March Madness tournament. They were knocked out by UConn in a very competitive, very close Elite 8 game. Matt Santangelo, Matt From. I mean, these were some old school guys you look like that because they should be playing on the 3-on-3 tournament, not playing in the NCAA tournament. But they took it to everybody that they faced. This was not Mark Few coaching them. This is Dave Monson. Few was an assistant on this team. This started a 26-year and still currently running 26-year straight NCAA tournament streak in terms of appearances. Gonzaga, when you think about Cinderellas, they're kind of the OG. So I'm going with the 99 Zags as the most likable team of all time.
Wait, where's the America's team? Were they called America's team at that time?
That's what, I don't know if you watch SVP, he always calls them America's team.
Oh,
Gonzaga.
okay. Got it. Yeah, the way you said that, I figured somebody had been calling that.
Yeah. Yeah, Scott Van Pelt always says that.
The great debate today, the most likable team of all time. So is this Chris who's going to be in here for Manny? Chris's picks?
It is me.
Chris Persianen?
Yeah, there we go.
Drought busted.
Persianen? Persianen? No, Persianen. Who's the most likable team of all time?
Yeah, thanks, Maggie.
We got to make this quick, by the way.
Absolutely. So I know when it comes to most likable, like, I agree with EJ. You can't have a team that went all the way. You have to leave fans wanting a little bit more. I think you couple that with the underdog story of an 8th seed making the NBA Finals, even with their best player injured. All the forces
oh my God,
of the
is this a
story
Knicks take?
are going right for the 1999 New York Knicks.
Ward had it tipped. Johnson made a good catch. Johnson is fouled and hit.
All right, Chris. We'll have to talk about that one a little bit later on.
I like this guy.
I'm sure you do, EJ. I'm sure you do. I'm sure all the Knicks fans do. All right, Chris went with the 99 Knicks. Bogusch, take us home.
Yeah, I think my suggestion, take this back to regular answers here for a second. I think my suggestion might fit under most disliked teams as well. But for today, they're likable characters, ending history, ending bad history. You loved them, you hated them. They were the 2004 Boston Red Sox.
Back to Folk. Red Sox fans have longed to hear it. The Boston Red Sox are world champions.
Yeah, there was like 1 or 6 polarizing guys on this team. Man,
nobody hated that team.
Pedro. I mean, there were guys not to like.
Kurt Schilling.
Kurt Schilling.
But not then.
Not then.
Well,
got to go back in time. I think everybody loved this
Listen,
team.
if you want to go with potential felons, there's probably a few on all the teams that we are rooting for.
Yeah,
We're talking most likable. We can yada yada over a
Pedro
couple
spiked
things.
an old man.
Some people love that.
The Yankees had A-Rod, right?
Or
no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Also,
so,
Don Zimmer had it coming.
Combine all
Maybe
those
it was
bad guys on the Red Sox and A-Rod.
Listen, I love them, but they're also Boston, and there's default angst against them. But this team was fun. They beat the Yankees.
They did shots.
Partied,
They were
did
half
shots,
naked all the time.
exactly.
They called
Kevin
themselves
Millar,
idiots.
Euclid,
Ate chicken.
Exactly. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Most
04 Boston
likable
Red Sox.
team of all time. That's our great debate. Most likable. That was an 85-year playoff drought that they broke. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to go in a totally different direction than everybody. Everybody sort of picked Cinderellas and lovable losers who finally got over the top or came close to going over the top. I am going with a dynasty. The 90s Bulls, to me, and I think you saw this during the pandemic, the Last Dance. The reason everyone was so excited, because that's kind of the last team we all loved. I know there are some fans who got beat by the Bulls who might not like them, but it was a team that you were excited for even when they beat your team because of Michael Jordan. So for me, it's the 90s Bulls.
Wait, Earl, which iteration? The first 3 championships or the second 3?
Whatever. Michael Jordan's Bulls.
Well, those are very different teams.
Not really. What's the difference?
Well, do you like Dennis Rodman? Do you not like Dennis Rodman? You know, there were some polarizing guys.
How many people are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Michael Jordan and the 5 of us probably, we might have gone to 7 games in the finals, but it was Michael Jordan. Who
We're
cares?
talking about likable, though. This is more than just who's the best, right? Are
right,
we talking
but we
about
like
attitudes?
that. Like you had to get tickets to see Jordan come to town. You had to turn on the TV to see what Jordan was going to do. And for me, it was like I loved this team. And obviously the fact that they're an out-of-town team that I loved to me, that makes him the most likable.
So you're not going with a specific season. You're not saying
Jordan's
the 90s.
Bulls.
90s Bulls.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying, is it 91, 92?
I'll go
92?
the team that set the record. Was that the 96, 90s? And I'll do the Last Dance team on the
98.
documentary with the little guy in the locker room who lost all the money to Jordan.
Shrug.
They didn't write that team, though.
Was that 97, 98?
Yes.
That was the Last Dance.
Yeah. I'll do the Last Dance Bulls.
Okay.
The look away to Livingston. Jordan. Oh, a spectacular move by Michael Jordan. That's 13 consecutive field goals.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the 90s Bulls, you can't really distinguish the years to me. They're basically just this great team that people fell in love with nationally. And honestly, it was a different time in sports. Now you can't have a team like that. Things are way more polarizing for some reason because we didn't have social media. It was pre-9/11. Like, the world was just the 90s was a different time. Like, everybody could rally around a team. Now you would never have that for some reason. Sports are way more polarizing now. I do think everyone backed Jordan. Maybe I'm wrong. I know there's some Knicks fans in the building who disagree, but I just feel like he was sort of an icon for everybody. Tiger Woods was like that too. You can't even get that now. So to me, it's the 90s Bulls were just different. So it's a totally different direction, like the Cubs. I'm going the exact opposite. Or Gonzaga, totally the favorite.
There you go. Today's great debate, the most likable team of all time. I loved thinking about this. And Bogusch, I understand why you picked the 04 Red Sox because they beat the Yankees and the comeback and breaking the curse and all of that. But you had a second one that you were thinking about that I think actually is more likable.
Yes, I suggested the Brad Stewart, Brad Stevens, Matt Howard, and Gordon Hayward Butler teams.
I thought about them too.
I mean, the Butler teams were so likable, especially they're playing Duke in the final. Like, who's rooting for Duke?
The only reason why I didn't pick them, well, one, I'm a Zaga fan, but even beyond that, because I weighed these two teams, those finals were so bad to watch.
Oh, they were so boring.
It almost made them unlikable in those games. Not necessarily the runs. The runs were amazing. Everyone was on their side. But when you got to the actual games, they were slugfest and not in a good way.
Well, the second one was really particularly bad when Hayward had already left.
Yeah, the second one was really bad.
The first one was Duke. The second one was UConn, right?
Yeah, the first one was rough, too. The shooting percentages were terrible in that game. They were still getting used to playing in those big stadiums, I think.
But remember, I mean, if Gordon Hayward hits that half-court shot, or in my mind, I'm remembering it as a half-court shot.
It was.
Yeah, that is one of the greatest sports moments of all time. Butler beats Duke in the championship game. Like, it would make all-time lists. It might be number one.
Pretty big if.
He got rim.
Yeah, I know. It went in and out. It hit the backboard or whatever.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. I would argue, like, this is a 2015, right? Like, college basketball was not, if you're going to do a college basketball team, when college basketball was a primary sport, you had NC State and Jim Valvano, like, that was like one of the top sports in the countries. 2015 was a particular valley. Like, the 2010s were not kind to college basketball because of one and done and other things. Like, I don't think that Butler team captured the nation like NC State.
Okay, but counterpoint, you couldn't watch every NC State game back then if you didn't live in that area, right?
Yeah.
So, like, now, you don't have the...
Nobody watched every Butler game.
No, I get that, but you have, like, teams, if you really get behind them, you can be watching every single... Like, I could watch every Cubs game from the 2016 season, and I don't live anywhere near Chicago.
Right,
so
but
you can get on board with some of these teams more in the modern era.
But ironically, that hurts the team. That means everything's spread out. Now you can watch a Premier League game if you want. So you don't follow... For example, like the Fab Five, that was so popular. I mean... 100 times more popular than that Butler team. Like, they were a massive deal because college basketball was gigantic. You youngins have no idea what it used to be like.
I mean, Fab Five could have been one of them. They were immensely popular and likable. They were trendsetters.
And also, too, college basketball was the sport back then. The Butler team, that was a funny time. It's all I recall.
But it was a very likable team.
Yeah,
That's
it's got
the
a little
great
Hoosiers vibe, right? Like, no team this small.
I mean, literally played in the Hoosiers
gym.
gym.
Played in their gym.
A lot Hoosiers
Not
vibe.
the vibe. It's like the actual embodiment of the whole movie.
I got to be honest. I'm tempted to vote for the Cubs.
Wow.
Likable guys. It was the John
Cubs.
Lester thing, wasn't it?
I think Chicago's also a likable city a little bit.
Well, that's why I didn't go with Boston. I think Boston, New York, like there's an inherent Philadelphia. There's some places on the East Coast where you just say the name of the city and you already don't like it.
Well, I just think the drought. I mean, the Billy Goat and that 100-year thing was a big deal.
Yeah,
I mean,
Bartman.
if Cleveland had won, I mean, you could say Cleveland, though, LeBron is a little bit too more polarizing, but Cleveland finally winning, like if Detroit Lions won the title, they would be on this list. I think you can do these Cinderella teams, and the Cubs are probably the most of that. But then again, like
They won 100 games that year. They had Theo Epstein as their GM. I mean, they were spent. Well, they actually were not spending enough money, but they were not a like small market. They were just hard luck.
But I'd say the 04 Red Sox were even a bigger deal than them. That was gigantic.
888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Who is the most likable team of all time? Maggie Perloff Show.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Well, Drop Sam's got the flag in his hand, streaming Maggie and Perloff across this land. He's cracking a cold one before the sun, saying Columbus Day's the holiday when the party's just begun. So raise a glass to the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. Drop Sam shouts out with a loud hallelujah. He's singing along with that YouTube stream. Maggie and Perloff are living the dream. But old Peter Bellotti, he ain't in sight. Skipped out on work like every holiday night. Stars and stripes hanging on the old porch rail. Sam's got a cooler like a Columbus Day sale. Neighbors shake their heads, but they all still grin, 'cause every holiday's a reason for Sam to dive in. So raise a glass to the Nina, the Pinta, the Santa Maria. Uncle Sam shouts out with a loud hallelujah. He's singing along with that YouTube stream. Maggie and Perloff are living the dream. But old Peter Bellotti, he ain't in sight. Skipped out on work every holiday day. He called out again like don't count on me. Uncle Sam stumbled into work at night, smelling like a whiskey, cheap boxed wine. Tried to flirt with Lisa from accounting again, but HR warned him that's strike number 10. Oh Sam, you gotta read the room. You ain't Casanova, you're just full of booms. Where the hell is Peter Bellotti? Did he call in sick or win the damn lottery? Nobody seen. Uncle Sam's got his turkey day plans, sipping bourbon from a can, yeah, that's his stance. He's got the Maggie and Perloff show on blast, feeling thankful and tipsy, talking fast. Uncle Sam, he's the man with a drink in his hand and a wild family plan, chatting up a storm about freedom and fuss, complaining about censorship and making a fuss. Daly's in the chat, shouting out loud, hey, let us speak free, don't censor the crowd. But Drunkle just laughs with a grin and a wink. He's got Maggie. Oh, Drunkle Sam's on YouTube, tune in for some laughs, with a beer in his hand and his feet on the grass. He cheers for the Bogusch and Perloff with a toast to the day. 4th of July is the best, you'll hear him say. Raise your glass, light the sky, it's the 4th once more. Uncle Sam's got stories that you can't ignore. From Maggie to Perloff, he's got quite the plan to celebrate freedom with a drink in his hand. Uncle of the year with a patriotic twist, watching sports and sipping brews, none he's missed. He jokes and he laughs, spills some too, it's alright, 'cause Drunkle Sam's in charge of the fun tonight. Raise your glass like the sky, it's the fourth once more. Uncle Sam's got stories that you can't ignore. From Maggie to Perloff, he's got quite the plan to celebrate freedom with a drink in his hand. On the fireworks boom and the stars are out, Uncle Sam's still laughing, oh there's no doubt. So here's to the uncle who loves his brew. Happy 4th of July from the YouTube crew. So watch with Sam have a laugh or two. He's the life of the party, brought to you by YouTube. With Maggie and Perloff, it's always a jam. Happy Independence, cheers, Uncle Sam.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Great debate Wednesday. Most likable team of all time. We had some varied choices. I went with a team that was dominant, the 90s Bulls. Maggie went with the 2016 Cubs. Bogusch went 04 Red Sox. Chris, who's filling in for Manny, somehow picked the 99 Knicks. There's a strike here. And EJ went with the 99 Gonzaga Bulldogs. We want to hear from you. What's the most likable team of all time? 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Maggie, you said that, well, we'll let the callers go. Olympic teams, a little bit different?
So we had talked about that yesterday. Doing an Olympic team kind of feels a little like cheating because, of course, we're all behind them because it's like a patriotic type thing. So we kind of stayed away from that. Let's go to Sean, who's in Oregon. Sean, who's the most likable team of all time?
Let's go with those 86, 87 Showtime Lakers, baby.
That's a good
Magic Johnson and Kareem. Everybody loved Magic. I know people in Portland. We call ourselves Laker haters, and I know a lot of friends were Laker fans, and that whole team generated generations of Laker fans. Magic Johnson, people loved him so they even gave him his own talk show after that. Everybody loved him.
The Magic Hour. Sean, that's a great one. Thank you for the call. Good to hear from you. Everyone loved Magic Johnson. Everybody.
I'd say there was more to the story because they were part of the Celtics-Lakers rivalry. So I think there were a lot of people who liked the Celtics, too.
Well, a lot of people, I think, like Larry Bird. But I think people love Magic. Kareem,
people love Magic.
Kareem was a little bit different, right? Because he was a little more reserved. Kareem was a little bit more outspoken about his politics, stuff like that, maybe a little more polarizing. But Magic was like universal appeal.
Yeah, but I think that the story of the 80s of the NBA was the Celtics and the Lakers. So I just think that they're not quite as singular as, for example, my 90s. The 90s was the Bulls. Yeah, because there were definitely a lot of people who rooted for Boston. I mean, that was just the way it worked.
888-710-4ISN. How about Jared, who's in North Carolina? What's up, Jared?
Yeah, hey, first of all, I think the 16 Cubs is it, hands down. It's not even close. But in honor of the upcoming Winter Olympics and in direct violation of your no Olympics rule for this great debate, I got three. So, I mean, two of them, I mean, you know, they had movies made about them, but I think all three have kind of etched their name in the big book of sports lore. So the 88 Jamaican bobsled team, I mean, you know, Cool Runnings, John Candy, who didn't love those guys? Of course, one's obvious, the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team, you know, fighting the Big Bear, Soviet Union. And then the 92 Dream Team. I mean, I remember as a kid watching those guys, the Barcelona Olympic team, Jordan, the Reebok sponsorship controversy. I mean, it was just an incredible time. I think I was 11 years old during those Olympics. And, you know, of course, everybody wanted to be like Mike. So 92 Dream Team, Jamaican bobsled team, and of course the 80 Olympic hockey team. Those are three that should be on the list.
Jared, thank you for the phone call. And yes, in direct violation of our no Olympic teams for this, but we appreciate you doing it. Now, it's funny. I've always said Cool Runnings is one of my favorite sports movies of all time. I love John Candy. I cannot wait for the John Candy documentary to come out.
You cry every time, right?
Every time. They're carrying that sled on their shoulders over the finish line. Just tears, always. But I actually don't know much about the real team. I'm embarrassed to say I never went back and actually looked at the
Runnings is not a documentary.
In my mind, it is.
I mean, it's isn't it kind of true? I have no idea.
No, it is true. It's totally
Yeah.
based on a true story. I just never did the work to go back and look at the real team.
Sanka, you dead? Yeah, man.
I think the movie does end with like a picture of the real guys, right? And a quick little thing.
By the way, I was wondering, can we put fictional teams in here? Can we put Hickory High School or was that what it was called in
The Durham
Hoosiers?
Bulls? Yeah.
Yeah, the Durham Bulls, like
Rick Moranis' team from
Little Giants.
Beat
Ed O'Neill's team. And now Rick Moranis is back. This is just awesome. Let's see you guys on the phones. Do I have time for one more before we get to Bogues? One more. James in Tennessee. James, what do you have? The most likable team of all time.
It's got to be the 85 Bears. I mean, how are we forgetting them? Everybody in America was behind them. They had a chart-topping song about the 85 Bears.
James, you're right.
Yeah.
Super Bowl Shuffle should have put them right to the top. Appreciate you calling in.
I think the SNL The Bears skit is probably their strongest asset. Like, I got to be honest. You know, Ditka versus the bus at the Indianapolis 500 is one of my favorite SNL jokes of all time. Yeah, that Bears team was pretty lovable.
Bogues. All right, keep them coming, guys. The most likable team of all time, any sport, 888-710-4ISN. What's going on in the world?
Well, we had a little breaking news from the NFL. It's still not official from the team perspective, but everybody is now reporting. Oh, and now the Browns have actually confirmed it as well, that they will start Dillon Gabriel on Sunday in London against the Vikings. Joe Flacco goes to the backup role. Shedeur stays number 3 on their depth chart. Gabriel will be the 3rd rookie quarterback to start a game this season.
I think it's disgusting.
Back-to-back weeks.
What are you doing there by making Flacco the backup?
Well, of course he's the backup.
Well, is this to win games then, or is this to give a guy's tryout? Because then Shedeur should be the backup.
They say Shedeur's not even close to ready. They said it many, many times.
Well, then why did Shedeur come out? And I know athletes have to be confident, but Shedeur came out the other day and said, I'm looking around at the quarterback play in the NFL, and I feel like I'm better than these guys.
Because he's Shedeur. Like, I think I could call the Super Bowl, but no one's going to give me the job. What do you mean? Why did Shedeur like Shedeur? Because he's Shedeur.
Yeah, wait, what's your source on this?
Well, I went to Shiloh. He went, no comment.
Yeah. Has Shedeur been dressing as a third stringer?
Yeah, he's out there, isn't he?
I'm confused by that rule still.
That rule is, oh my God. I mean, if you're struggling to figure out the new kickoff and the overtime, try to get into that third quarterback rule and you will be confused.
Yeah,
sometimes teams do not dress a third quarterback.
Right, but he's there and he can get dressed if like the first 2 guys die.
But how
Like,
hard? Does that mean he has to run back and find an outfit? Like, how does this work?
Find an outfit like he's going through the closet. It's not at Marshall's, Pearl.
It's after Labor Day.
Get me a wristband. I got to go in here.
The 117 pitches that Garrett Crochet threw at Yankee Stadium last night, the most by anybody in a playoff game since Steven Strasburg in Game 3 of the 2019 NLCS. They produced 11 strikeouts, just 1 run. The problem for the Yankees, they thought 102 pitches from Max Fried were enough, but they were not.
Weaver throws, Massa swings and rides one into center field. Base hit. Stay down, scores. Sogard behind him. Hello, Macho Man. 2-run hit, and the Red Sox lead it 2-1.
They have fun on Red Sox radio. Masataka Yoshida go-ahead 2-run pinch hit single off reliever Luke Weaver. He came in for Fried with 1 out in the 7th, promptly walked the batter, gave up a ground ball double, and then that hit, and the Yankee lead was gone. Alex Bregman tacking on an RBI double in the 9th. The Yankees then squandered bases loaded and nobody out to lose 3-1. Aaron Boone shares his bad logic for pulling Fried.
I felt like he kind of cruised through the first few, and obviously he ends up pitching great, but I felt like he had to work pretty hard, and I was going to have the 6B at the end, but once we finished with the double play, I wanted him to go out and get Duran, and then felt like we were lined up.
Narrator's voice, they were not lined up. Blake's...
Wasn't he facing the 8-9 hitters after that?
Something like that. Certainly
the bottom of the lineup.
Yes. Yeah, it just, there's no defending it. He would be better off just going, we messed up. Sorry, guys.
That would be funny if he did
right?
that, though.
Like, we made the wrong decision.
He'd have to be packing up his belongings right now and running for the border.
Yeah, but I mean, like, sometimes it's okay to just go, it didn't work.
not okay for him. He can't say that.
Again, he has this weird Teflon thing here because he takes all of the bullets for the organization. So I don't know what he can and can't say after a game.
Say my front office screwed me over?
I mean, we don't even know if that was his call or not.
I don't know how much of this is his call, but
whoever made it, it was the wrong decision, and it backfired immediately. Blake Snell, 7 solid innings. The Dodger Bats Club, 5 homers, 2 of them from Shohei to take their opener with the Reds, 10-5. Ohtani's homers went a combined 829 feet. Seiya Suzuki and Carson Kelly back-to-back homers with the Cubs in front. Their bullpen got them to the finish line, 3-1 over the Padres at Wrigley. The day began in Cleveland with maybe something Manny would like.
McKinstry bunts down the first base line. It's a good one. Riley Green will score. Noel throws to second. Tigers take a 2-1 lead.
That's Dan Dickerson on Tigers Radio, and that was Zach McKinstry with a tie-breaking sacrifice squeeze bunt, which feels like special teams adjacent. So if you like punting, you got to like squeeze bunts.
Definitely.
Right?
Yeah, Manny, cheer up.
Thumbs up for Manny.
The Yankees are in a hole, but at least you got some cool, interesting,
fun
that. Baseball yesterday.
The Tigers getting a 2-1 win in Cleveland. Tarek Skubal getting 14 over 7 2/3. 35 points from Asia Wilson, 32 from Jackie Young. Their aces back in the WNBA Finals. 4th time in 6 seasons, outlasting the Fever 107-98 in OT in their 5th and final game last night. A best of 7 with Phoenix starts on Friday night in Vegas. And the NCAA said yesterday the 2028 Women's Final Four is moving from the arena where the Pacers and Fever play in Indy to Lucas Oil Stadium, the home of the Colts.
Wow.
That will allow them to sell roughly 13,000 more seats to the games.
Dang.
That's a lot of seats. I missed on a dad joke I was going to throw out there. Should I share it now?
Please.
I'm not buying.
Do we have a choice?
I'm not buying the Kool-Aid on the Zach McKinstry suicide squeeze.
Oh gosh!
Look how much he loves it.
I know. I was going to say Zach McKinstry. Like I know a McKinstry. His name is Kool-Aid.
I don't even know if that's a dad joke.
That's a stretch.
Yeah, that's like
if I said it in the moment, it would have been a solid C+ joke. Now it's like a D-.
But a C+ dad joke is like an F- regular joke.
Hey, C's get degrees.
Actually, a C+ dad joke is like an A because you want a dad joke to be bad. Like the art of the dad joke, if it's really funny, then it goes out of the dad joke realm. Then it's just a joke.
I don't know.
My daughter would have laughed. Boy,
she has no idea who Kool-Aid McKinstry is.
Yeah.
Oh, are you kidding me? Emma's totally scouted Kool-Aid McKinstry, that whole defensive backfield.
I'm sure. Bogusch, thank you. See you guys on the phones. Let's do this. The great debate today is who is the most likable team of all time? And there are a lot of great ones lined up that we have not mentioned yet. We'll get to you next. M&P.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 3 minutes remaining.
Boom, and the stars are out. Drunk will say
Manny and EJ, they're diehard Knicks fans, living in the Big Apple. They're part of the grand plan, but they just witnessed the crushing defeat. 76ers taking the victory, man. That's hard to beat. Sitting in the studio talking about the game, Maggie and Perloff, it ain't all the same. Perloff's a Philly fan. It's hard to stand when your team's on top and your heart's in your hand. Man, Manny and EJ, they're lost and confused. Knicks played hard, but it wasn't what they used to. Every missed shot, every turn, oh, they saw leaving them shot. They can't believe what they're in for. Manny and EJ, they're diehard Knicks fans, living in the Big Apple.
One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Got some breaking news from the Cleveland Browns. Dillon Gabriel will get the start over Joe Flacco against the Vikings in London. Pearl, Joe Flacco moves to the backup role. Shedeur Sanders still waiting in the wings as third string. And we're playing the song Gloria because our great debate today, which is what we do on Wednesdays, the most likable team of all time. And of course, you recall the 2019 St. Louis Blues, which rode that song Gloria straight to the Stanley Cup.
Well, there you go.
Let's go to Mike, who's in Syracuse. Mike, what'd you love about that 2019 Blues team?
Last place in January. Fire their coach and hand the net to an unproven young guy in Jordan Binnington. I mean, what's not to like about that? I mean, the NHL and hockey fandom, there's a lot of rivalries that go on. But that is one that I think a lot of NHL fans, unless you're a Bruins fan, really got behind and said, you know, this is a good thing. 51 years. They finally won a Stanley Cup in the first time in their existence. So, you know, that's why that's the first one that came to my mind. And there really wasn't any controversy, no salary cap circumvention or anything like that.
Yeah, thank you, Mike. 2019 St. Louis Blues is one of the most likable teams of all time, or the most likable. Yeah, I don't think the 2024 5 Clippers are going to make this list. I think he's talking about salary cap circumvention. I think that was a Steve Ballmer reference from yesterday.
That's reason number 1 million. The Clippers are not going to be on this list.
Okay, some more here. How about Daniel in San Diego? Daniel, who's the most likable team of all time?
I'm going to go with the early 2010 San Francisco Giants. That team, I'm a diehard Padres fan, so it's really hard for me to like any NL West opponent. But for some reason, I had to like that team. They had Tim Lincecum, Bruce Bochy at the helm, Hunter Pence, Buster Posey behind the plate, Panda.
Yeah,
it's a really likable team. A bunch of funny characters, and yeah.
I'm going to agree with you, Daniel. That's a great one. Those Giants teams, I mean, listen, if you're playing against them, then obviously it's terrible. But they had so many good characters on that team.
You don't remember this, Maggie?
Except for Aubrey Huff.
This is their theme song.
I didn't remember this was their theme song.
How do you not remember that?
All right, fade it down, Chris. Hold on. Take it down. Because Don't Stop Believin', as you guys know, is my least favorite song on earth. And what's hilarious about this segment is Gloria by what's her name? Laura Branigan? What's her name?
I think it's Laura Branigan. Yeah, it's from like 83 or something.
Is my favorite pop song of all time. So that's a little something about me.
That team was crap.
What do you mean?
I hated that team.
Why?
The Phillies were supposed to win the World Series that year.
Well, take your fandom on
They had a lot of suspicious characters on that team. It was not a lovable team that you guys remember. I remember I didn't like a lot of, that series was kind of a crap series. It came in, I just didn't like that team.
Well, listen, I didn't like that.
And it's my fandom. I admit they beat the Phillies and it was not supposed to happen. It was like the beginning of their run. That was a great Phillies team, like Hall of Famers everywhere. And Cody, it was Cody Ross was the hero, remember?
Wait a minute, but again, take your fandom out of it. I'd pick the 2016 Cubs. Yes, you have to take the fandom out. Matt Cain had a terrible. Did he throw at David Wright's head?
Matt Cain was a crazy person.
Yeah, but I can still like this team. And we forgot about Brian Wilson, who was the crazy closer on that team with the beard.
Well, I love Brian Wilson.
Exactly.
That guy was also wild.
Yeah, but the guys who beat us were Cody Ross and Juan Uribe. Single-handedly beat us, and I don't know. I just didn't like them.
Goliath hates David Perloff take.
No, that team was. I don't remember that the same way you guys all do, and that was not one of my favorite teams. I just didn't like them.
Just a small town girl. Oh, the worst.
Yeah, and also even the guys that you guys are saying everybody liked, I don't know. I see it that way.
Who was king for a day that I had to sing that stupid song? EJ?
That was me.
Yeah.
Got another one coming because I got the home run derby.
Are you going to be king for a day? Is that what you're going to choose?
That's what we should do.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm nervous now. James. Living in the lonely world. Don't turn off the audience. James is in Idaho. James, who's the most likable team of all time?
Well, speaking of David versus Goliath, how about the 06 Boise State Broncos, the one that ended up winning the 07 Fiesta Bowl?
Phenomenal take. That's a great one, James. I mean, multiple trick plays. You got the proposal at the end. Everything about that team was likable. And you were playing Oklahoma. Felt David and Goliath for sure.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you, James. I was actually trying to think of college teams yesterday. Is there another college team that would fit this most likable of all time? Boise State's a great one.
For football?
Yeah. College football team. We have EJ picked Gonzaga for college basketball.
You know, it's funny. There aren't really a lot of Davids that win the national championship. So it's kind of hard to think of. I
think Tebow is very likable, but that team was kind of a bully.
Yeah. I mean, maybe Perloff. This is me as a Miami. I hated that team. I hated them with a passion, those Florida teams. Now, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess there ended up being a reason to later on, but
they were bigger bullies. Like the 90s Nebraska team, those were real bullies. Like they were the great team. I feel like that's more like less of a Cinderella sport. It's more like a great team sport.
I feel like I think people did like the 02 Ohio State team, even though it's Ohio State.
The Craig Krenzel team?
Because they were so like remember they were beating like Purdue by like 2 points. Like they were winning all these games that were super close, and everybody thought Miami was going to beat them by like 30. And
I think you're playing Monday morning quarterback. I don't think that team was a big deal until they won that
Maurice
game.
Clarett was a huge deal. What do you mean?
Wait,
I don't think so. It was that win that propelled them into that stratosphere.
I totally disagree with Maurice Clarett in terms of how famous he was at that time. He was like, he tried to challenge to go to the NFL as a freshman.
I know our friend worked on that legal case. What about the USC Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart? Those teams were pretty. They were dominant and likable. They were very star power. Pete Carroll.
They kind of have a little Showtime Lakers aspect too. If you're talking about like what their appeal was, they were flashy,
glamour.
They were fun. Yeah, that may be a good team.
Celebrities on the sideline type of thing.
Well, yeah. In the same vein, the U, which two of the U teams, Miami teams. Notre Dame is obviously the most popular team. That Rocket Ismail Notre Dame team was very popular.
People love Manti Te'o until that team got smoked in the national championship game. That was actually probably a likable Notre Dame team.
Yeah, but that was different though because they weren't dominant. Like they weren't in the 80s and 90s. Notre Dame, when they had those runs, were very, very, very popular. I think that's where the TV deals and all that came from.
I feel like 2000 Virginia Tech was pretty popular. Michael Vick.
Yeah, Michael Vick.
I think they were. That team, maybe it was just Vic, but I think people really were just like, whoa, this guy's something. And they went in that game against Florida State. I think nobody really likes Florida State.
This is a harder thing to do with college football. You're
Definitely.
absolutely right. Baseball, the NFL.
We're probably missing a college team. But you're right, college football too. Like, I don't think Virginia Tech generally catches on.
Another team that maybe not now because of what's happened, but I think maybe 86 Penn State. They beat Miami coming in those fatigues. People thought Miami was super cocky, and Penn State really didn't have all these pros and stuff. Maybe that's a team that people definitely rooted for to beat Miami, to knock them off the peg a little bit.
Keep them coming, guys. Who is the most likable team of all time? 888-710-4ISN. We've also got some more news for you from the NFL.
You're in a 5-minute break.
It's time to play Gloria Karaoke. Pete the Body Bilotti, cue the music.
Gloria. Gloria, you're always on the run now, running after somebody. You gotta get him somehow. I think you gotta slow down before you start to blow it. I think you're headed for a breakdown, so be careful not to show it. You really don't remember, wasn't something that he said. All the voices in your head calling, Gloria, Gloria. Don't you think you're falling? If everybody wants you, why isn't anybody calling? You don't have to answer. Leave them hanging on the line. Oh, calling. Oh, calling Gloria. Gloria, Gloria. I think they got your number. Calling those cows, Gloria. I think you got the alias, Gloria, that you've been living under, Gloria. But you really don't remember. Was it something that they said? All the voices in your head. Call it Gloria. Gloria.
Oh, God.
How's it gonna go down? Will you meet him on the main line? Or will you catch him him on the rebound? Will you marry for the money? Take a lover in the afternoon. I feel like you're innocent slipping away. Don't you believe it's coming back soon, Gloria? And you really don't remember? Was it something that he said? All the voices in your head call it Gloria. Gloria!
Okay,
Don't you think you're falling?
No, it's over.
Call the cows.
No. Oh, God.
My ideal, future in terms of having kids is, somebody takes my seed and then just, to raise the kid. And I'm like, that's my kid. Don't raise it, but claim it as your own.
Did you just say your goal is to be a delinquent dad?
It's more so just to pass down the bloodline.
So you actually does this involve actual relations with said woman, or are you going to make a donation to a bank and just let somebody take it?
I kind of want a Genghis Khan thing. I just pass down my seed and then have them grow under my name.
But have no actual day-to-day interaction with them?
I mean, yes and no.
You want to text them occasionally or see them every other weekend? How does this work?
Yeah, I don't know. And not even, okay, so not even in terms of, because when you do raise a kid, you obviously want to experience all that.
Yeah.
And eventually I do, I guess, want to do that. But I also on this...
15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Just getting going this morning. We got some breaking news for you from the NFL. The Browns are making a quarterback change, but not so fast on Shedeur Sanders. No, they're going to go from Joe Flacco to Dillon Gabriel before their game against the Vikings in in London, but against the Vikings. And not only that, but Shedeur Sanders is not even the backup now. He's still the third string. Dillon Gabriel's the starter. Joe Flacco's the backup.
Yeah, which makes kind of sense. If this starts to go bad against Brian Flores' defense in Minnesota, I'm not sure you want to put Shedeur in for Shedeur's sake. Feels like throw Flacco back in. Because if they torture Dillon Gabriel, what do you think they'll do to another rookie, Shedeur Sanders?
No, I get it. Listen, going up against Brian Flores would be hard enough for Joe Flacco, let alone a rookie.
Yeah.
This is not an easy assignment. It's kind of odd to me that this is the moment that the Browns are decided to make this change. I guess they think this is a winnable game. Technically, it's a neutral field because it's London, but the Vikings have been in Europe for a week. They played in Dublin last week, so they're all acclimated to the travel and the time change. So
they did not play well in Dublin last week.
Yeah, and also they're going to be maybe extra motivated. I don't know. They're dealing with some injuries on the Vikings side of things. We believe Carson Wentz is still going to start, even though J.J. McCarthy is practicing this week. But see, this is all odd to me. This is where the Browns just never make a lot of sense.
No.
Because if you are really, if you're just going to go back to Joe Flacco, if Dillon Gabriel throws 2 picks or something, then what are we even doing here? And honestly, what is this all about? Because is it about actually giving these rookies a chance to maybe win the job, or is it just about keeping the seat warm and maybe losing a lot of games to get a high draft pick for next year? Are we already thinking about that, even though it's October only?
Well, here's the thing, though. It's a 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick. What other situation in the history of the NFL are you so worried about getting the 3rd rounder into the game, or especially the 5th rounder? When does that ever become a thing?
Because we all know that Shedeur Sanders was a 5th-round draft pick in name only.
No,
not,
we do. How do we all know that?
Ability.
No. They actually hold the draft, and they go round by round, and in the 5th round, his name was called.
Okay, and if you think that if Shedeur Sanders had treated the draft process like he was Baker Mayfield, do you think that he would have been a 5th-round pick? Shedeur botched it. I'll give you that. Totally. The Sanders family, I think they botched
But that says
the
a
draft.
lot about who he is then.
But now it's about football. Now it's about he's in your building and who has the potential to be the better quarterback, Dillon Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders. And I still think it's Shedeur. Just because you didn't like how he treated the draft doesn't mean he's not a good quarterback or have any ability.
I mean, I think the draft market spoke. And I think we spend too much time rationalizing what happened here. Shedeur, and the Browns told you, how many times do I have to tell you, he's not quite ready. He needs a little more seasoning, a little more practice, but nobody wants to accept that.
I have another thought on this. So Browns are changing from Flacco to Dillon Gabriel. Shedeur still 3rd string. Do you remember the story that came out about 2 weeks ago that the Ravens wanted to draft Shedeur Sanders and they said no because he'd be sitting behind Lamar Jackson? Well, Lamar's hurt now. It looks like he's going to be out maybe 2 to 3 weeks. Shedeur could have had an opportunity to be starting in week 5 of the NFL season. This is why you can't get so precious about this stuff. This is why you can't try to, be perfect with it. Not everyone gets to be Eli Manning and choose exactly where they want to go.
Right. I mean, he would have been 3rd string, I would presume there. Cooper Rush has started 30 NFL games. I assume the Ravens with playoff hopes are not going to want to throw a rookie in.
I don't know. I mean, I get it, but I don't know.
You can't be Dillon Gabriel. How's it going to be Cooper Rush?
Well, that's just because the Browns are weird. 888-710-4ISN.
You say that so securely and positively, like, oh, I know that Shedeur is better than Dillon Gabriel. How do you know more than Kevin Stefanski? I'm just curious.
The NFL has been clueless for 50 years when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying you,
like, this one.
Why does everybody know that? Why does everyone be like, well, I know the Browns are saying Dillon Gabriel's more ready, but I know more than the Browns.
No, it's not that I know more than the Browns. I'm just saying that before Shedeur did poorly in the pre-draft process,
right?
Did anyone have Shedeur behind Dillon Gabriel?
I guess the NFL did because I think the NFL was not ready to draft Shedeur high.
Right. Well, barely drafted him at all. 888-710-4ISN.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that obviously there are some teams that had Dillon Gabriel ranked higher, including the team that drafted both of them. I do think there were probably people who had. And listen, Dillon Gabriel had a very successful college career. He's just short. If he was taller, he probably would have been a 1st rounder. He's very good. Dude can spin it.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I'm not saying Dillon Gabriel has no ability. Yeah. I'm just saying this is a. If you're asking me who still has the better shot to be the better NFL quarterback, I'm going to go with Shedeur over Dillon Gabriel. Now, a lot of this is about your circumstances and who you're throwing to and your offensive line, your coaching. We know that happens in the NFL, but it's like we forgot that Shedeur has any ability. Like, you think it's gone too far on, like, maybe the Dillon Gabriel slander. I think we've gone too far on the Shedeur slander.
Wait, where's the Shedeur slander? I'm not hearing that. It feels like all I'm hearing is why isn't there more Shedeur?
No, you're saying the NFL has spoken. The NFL has spoken. Listen, the NFL doesn't draft guys for tons of reasons. And this one was clearly, sure, some about football, him going backwards, stuff like that, but also his, terrible pre-draft interviews and such.
Yeah, I mean, I think we say that with some certainty, but, there are a lot of reports. We listen to this. You and I happen to be hooked on a Browns podcast with Mary Kay Cabot. I mean, pretty much most reporters said that Shedeur wasn't ready. All camp long, they said, like, oh, he's a rookie. He's looking like a rookie. He's a 5th-round pick. He is not ready to start an NFL game. We heard that message 1,000 times from the team, the reporters, and just nobody wants to believe it.
Yeah, because it's the Browns. 888-710-4ISN, 888-710-4476. Okay, let's turn our attention to our guest, CJ Nitkowski. Love him. Played a decade in Major League Baseball as a pitcher, now an MLB Network radio analyst, and also TV for the Atlanta Braves. And CJ, just an awesome guy. Thank you so much for doing this, CJ. How you doing?
Good morning, guys. I'm doing great. How are you?
We're doing excellent. So first and foremost, before we get into yesterday and then previewing today, on Wednesdays around here, we do something called the Great Debate. Today's debate is who is the most likable team of all time. Do you have a thought on that?
Well, I mean, yeah, so likable for fans or likable for kind of who I've been around. I played for a lot of different teams. And so then you have your favorites. But listen, I'll be partial to what I do right now because I think they did a really good job for a long time. And while you might be looking for one particular team, I'll give you an error team. Okay. And I do think what you saw from the Braves when they went on their run in the 90s, led by Bobby Cox, was a pretty good group of guys. That core group in there with John Smoltz and, of course, Greg Maddux, Tom Glavine, Chipper, those guys, even prior Dale Murphy. Like, the Braves have always done a good job of having really good people around. And I played for 40 different managers around the world with all my different stops, and I put Bobby Cox at the top. So the fact that was a good error team for me, a lot of nice people, a good organization. I know it sounds brutal because now I call games for the Braves, but I probably would have given that same answer 10 years ago.
CJ, full disclosure, I'm a Phillies fan, so I don't quite feel the same way. But we looked at a team from that era, the Ken Griffey Mariners, as really because the effect they had after the strike lockout. That's one of that teams from the era that sticks out to me.
That's a fair one. I mean, that's a good group. I don't think I've ever run across a person that didn't like Ken Griffey Jr. It seems nearly impossible. So, yeah, that without a doubt. They had some pretty unbelievable runs, really good people. Randy Johnson was fun to watch. You can't go wrong with that. And then you had a really fun manager who was a little bit over the top and intense in Lou Piniella, but it made for good entertainment.
Yeah, we all liked Randy Johnson. He didn't like any of us. That's at least what we got. That's our great debate today, the most likable team of all time. So keep those coming. Let's talk to CJ Nitkowski now about what we saw yesterday. And CJ, who is most to blame for the Yankees losing last night's game to the Red Sox? Is it Aaron Boone or is it the players?
So it's never the manager for me. It's rare. It's an interesting time for sure. And something that Booney does extremely well is he always falls on the sword. And so when he talks about lineup and he talks about pitching changes as if he's the only one making those decisions, this is a different time in the game. But if you want to go to the Max Fried part of this and making that decision, hindsight's 20/20. I know Luke Weaver's had kind of an up and down year. He had been pitching well the second half of September. It looked like maybe he was back to being his old self. And so Max Fried, from a pitch count standpoint, it kind of been where they had gone with him. He had the second most games this year where he'd gone over 100 pitches. He had gone up to 111 earlier in the season. But there was times where the command looked like he was getting away. It was getting away from him. There was times where it looked like toward the end he was fighting himself. You could see him kind of falling off the mound. He was missing arm side. These are things that you look for when you're trying to gauge fatigue. Max Fried's a gamer, so Max Fried is probably not going to give you much insight into how he's feeling if he is starting to get tired, right? And I appreciate that. It's a good thing, right? I mean, I learned that early in my career. If you want to stay in the game, you don't give a manager any indication that you're starting to get tired. So you got to use your own eyes. You got to use your own instincts. And I think what we saw from Max Fried even prior to that was that fatigue was starting to set in. And so I didn't have a problem with the move. When it doesn't work out, then, of course, everybody jumps on, especially when the other guy who had the most games pitched of better than 100 pitches this year in Garrett Crochet continues to go deeper, continues to have his pitch count pushed a little bit. It always looks a little bit worse. So I'm not single blame. I didn't have a problem, though, with the move, and I didn't have that much of a problem with the lineup construction either yesterday.
CJ, if the Yankees lose today or lose a series, do you think Boone's job is in jeopardy?
I don't know. It's always tough to get a read on that, right? It seems like him and Brian Cashman have a really solid relationship. They've been on a good run. I mean, they were in the World Series, obviously, last year. But to get bounced early here would be catastrophic for this team. But I'm not a big fan of kind of where the game is right now, which is a ton of turnover when it comes to managers. I mean, we already have, 4 openings, probably a few more coming before we get through this entire postseason. And you start kind of looking around. The tenure for managers is so ridiculously short. I don't think it's necessarily good for continuity. I mean, Aaron Boone right now is the 4th longest or 5th longest tenured manager in the game, right? Finishing up now 8 years here with the New York Yankees. So, I mean, it's always going to be a topic of conversation. You can't get away from it most places, but especially in that market. But I think he does a good job with his team. I think his team really likes him. They play hard for him. Yeah, they're not going to be happy with every decision. Jazz clearly wasn't yesterday that he didn't play, but I would still trust him to lead my team, so I'd keep him.
CJ Nitkowski is our guest. MLB Network Radio, also TV analyst for the Braves, was a decade in Major League Baseball and really, pitch, what'd you say, 40 different managers? That's pretty amazing.
All around the world, minor leagues, big leagues, Japan, Korea, Dominican, yeah, all of it. So I went back and counted when I was done. I was like, good gracious. Yeah, that's a lot.
Some people don't have like 40 friends, let alone 40 managers they played with. Okay, so last one here on the Yankees, but this one really applies to the Guardians as well. Or I guess any team that lost yesterday, but those two American Leagues teams lost at home. So much pressure now because you're facing elimination from the postseason, and you pitched in New York, so you know this. And did you pitch in Cleveland too? But you pitched in New York. I know that.
Detroit, almost.
Oh, you got close. Does the home field advantage almost work against you when you're facing elimination? You've got, let's just say for the Yankees, you've got this rabid fan base who will boo you at any moment, no matter what you've done or who you are. And does in some ways the home field work against the Yankees tonight?
I don't think so. I think for both of these teams, any team that's home, period, is you're always going to have a chance to walk it off. Right. And that's really important, especially if you get into extra innings. I mean, the extra innings situation, anytime you have a chance to win it late, I think is really important to have. You're always going to want it. Will it be a little bit louder? You're going to catch a little bit more heat when you don't do something right? Sure. That's part of it, but I'll take it all day long. Players do a really good job of compartmentalizing. I know that it can get loud. I know we've had moments here and there where maybe a player looks like he's been affected by the crowd, but I don't know. I feel like it's never really bothered me personally that much. You get excited because there's great atmosphere, but once you get out there and in between the lines, you're there because you belong there, because you're great at what you do. And so, yeah, there'll be some pressure-packed moments, but I think any player would tell you that they'd much rather play at home than they would on the road.
CJ, we do 6 to 10 Eastern. It's a morning show. So I admit it, I called it on the Dodgers game a little bit early last night. I was like, all right, Dodgers have this in hand, and woke up to a 10-5 final score, which made me wonder, how'd that become 5? Should we worry about the Dodgers bullpen? And was last night's game an indication of that?
Not necessarily. I mean, listen, there are concerns. 100% there are concerns. I think yesterday when you saw the lead that they had at that point, was it 10-2 when they went to their bullpen? Or I guess it was 8-2 or 8-0. I'm sorry, I'll get this right. I also went to bed early. It was 8-0 at the time when he went to the pen. So I think what you saw from Dave Roberts is maybe to go to some of those secondary guys a little bit. I mean, Vesey has been kind of a go-to, and he followed Snell yesterday. But I think what you saw after that with Enriquez and Dreyer, Trinan unfortunately struggled here a little bit yesterday or recently, but he's done well. He finished well yesterday. No, I mean, it is. If there's one area in which you are concerned for the Dodgers, that's definitely it, because they've had a lot of ups and downs with that bullpen this year. But I think based on what you saw yesterday, was a little bit more indicative of where they were at the score, maybe taking a chance with, I don't want to say lesser guys, because he's a really good, like the Enriquez kid was really good, he has a huge arm, it was his first opportunity. He did not pitch well yesterday, didn't get a batter out, a couple of walks in there. If anything, it might actually work to their advantage that they were able to do something like that with that kind of kid, to get him in there in a lower pressure situation. Even though he struggled, you expect him to be better next time. But it is their one weak link for sure, but they have enough big arms with enough track records where at least you have guys that have done it. They did it in a big way last year. I don't think they're pushing the panic button just yet in LA.
CJ Nitkowski is joining us for another minute or two. MLB Network Radio, TV analyst for the Braves. Sticking with the Dodgers, CJ, you pitched a decade in the major leagues. Looking it up here, also a grand total of 16 plate appearances. So that's double right. Duty. I mean, not exactly Shohei, but, double duty for sure. How do you think the Dodgers should use Shohei when it comes time for him to take a spot in the rotation?
Yeah, I think they probably do exactly what they did during the regular season, where he can do both. I know there's a lot there, but this is a different kind of person and a player. I think he can handle it. What I didn't like was the idea of even the possibility of him being in the bullpen. And I know Dave Roberts discussed it and said they talked about it and went through the different scenarios in which that could potentially happen for the Dodgers. That, to me, ends up being a little bit too much. How you properly warm him up, he seems pretty routine-orientated, especially, you're in Dodger Stadium, you're going to go back and forth between the bullpen and the dugout, I think would be a challenge. But as far as starting goes, they have a luxury right now where they're healthy, which I know for the Dodgers has not always been the case. Healthy enough where, Tyler Glasnow is probably not going to make a start. Clayton Kershaw's not even on the roster here for the wild card. They're running that deep right now in Los Angeles, but I'm still good with Shohei making regular starts in the postseason. This is why they were so conservative with him coming back from injury. If you remember, the first couple of starts were an inning. The next ones were 2 innings, right? It was really slow, taking it really easy with him so they could have him for these moments right now. I think they're probably even a little bit surprised that they are as healthy as they are and how deep they are in their rotation. But he's a starter for me, and when he starts, he hits.
I have to ask one Phillies question. They're still the Vegas favorite, just slightly to win the whole thing. Does that make sense to you, or are they your favorite to come out as champions?
So I would put the Phillies, the Dodgers, and the Yankees all in the same spot. Obviously, the Yankees are down right now a game, so that could change dramatically. But there's a lot to like about the Phillies. I've seen them quite a bit, obviously, calling games for the Braves. And even without Zach Wheeler, I mean, add Zach Wheeler if he were healthy, even more so, I would like that. But I think they're in a good position. Sanchez, Luzardo, Suarez, I know you have a bunch of lefties there. It's three of them, but they're all really good. Suarez has been good in the postseason in his career. I think what will be interesting is, if any, or how they handle having anybody make right-handed starts for them. Walker Buehler was really good. It was only a couple of starts, but he threw really well. Didn't have, the strikeouts, the walks weren't great, but everything else was. That's the only thing with the Phillies is that, and I get it, Aaron Nola is their top right-handed starter, but I don't know if he's quite the same. I know it was a little bit better down the stretch, and he probably would be the first right-handed starter to get a nod. But I like this team. This team is good. Obviously, it hurts a little bit when you're going to be a little bit thinner in the bullpen. Jose Alvarado's not going to be there because of the PED suspension, but David Robertson seemed good enough. They're absolutely right there. They have a legitimate chance to win it all.
CJ, when you mention who your favorite, the most likable team of all time, that's where we started with today's great debate, and it was those 90s Braves teams. I was like, man, was David Robertson on one of those teams? That's how long it feels like he's been pitching in Major League Baseball. Kidding. But thank you so much for doing this, CJ. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of the playoffs, and we'll catch up with you again soon. And congrats on a great season from TV standpoint. You guys are so good down there. Wish it had been different for the Braves, but you guys are awesome.
Very kind of you to say. I appreciate you guys. Always a pleasure to catch up.
Thank you, CJ Nitkowski. All right, so he likes your Phillies. Does that make you feel any better?
Well, you know what actually was interesting there? He said three teams. The Phillies, get it. The Dodgers, of course. He still had the Yankees in that list.
Well, they got the work cut out for him today.
Well, I think he knew that. He said, it is interesting. Manny, our resident Yankees fan, is acting like the series is over.
Manny's gone. I don't even know. Is he doing something? He's doing something, right? I want to make sure he's okay.
He knows this is a 3-game series, right? It's not over. I know the history. It's not over.
The history is not good, but you do have home field. And I think there's just a little boogeyman about the Red Sox, too. This makes it a lot harder for the Yankees because the Red Sox have that one thing that the Yankees seem to lack, which is a killer instinct that the Yankees don't really possess. Like, the Yankees have talent, but when you think about this team, do you think killer instinct? Do you think when there's blood in the water, they're going for kill shot? I'm watching a guy yesterday test Aaron Judge's arm in right field, taking an extra base. Like, I'm seeing Alex Cora, the manager, ride with his ace and push him to, 117 pitches last night. It's just this killer instinct that I think lives a little in the cabeza of the Yankees.
New York Yankees, damn it.
I disagree, though, a little bit. I think the Yankees are equal opportunity losing in the postseason to teams.
There
are a lot of teams that beat. I mean, the Astros obviously beat them a lot. Like, I don't think the Red Sox are the particular boogeyman. I think it's the playoffs are the boogeyman right now.
All right, Manny, answer that question. Put down your meal prep. Does this make it? You're down in the dumps today. Manny's our Yankee fan. You're down in the dumps, like the wild card series is over because of how you lost last night, which was as dramatic as it gets. Is it because also it's the Red Sox? And right now,
that plays a big factor into it. I mean, they haven't won in a series since 2003 against this team, and you look at recent history, it's just been blowout after blowout after blowout. So, yeah, call me a little pessimistic, but I mean, it's the Red Sox that are also kicking our butt, so that adds a little extra.
No, but not like what's it feel like? Who's are they the biggest nemesis? Would you put them above Houston, for example?
Yes. It's one of the great rivalries.
Probably not. Because of our recent history, like the more recent history is against the Astros than it is against the Red Sox. So I'd probably still have the Astros at a little bit higher than the Red Sox, but I still don't like them.
But to be honest, Red Sox eliminated you in 2018.
Yeah, I mean, that was before the Eagles won a Super Bowl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Red Sox that was not happening in 2018. They were good. Yeah, I think it's Yankees playing anybody in the postseason right now. I just don't trust them.
I don't disagree with you.
You want to know the other worst part? This is the worst part. It's not just that the Red Sox seem to have this go for blood kind of killer instinct that I don't think the Yankees at least have the reputation of having. Alex Cora seems to push every correct button and Aaron Boone is your own worst enemy when it comes to managing. Now, you just had CJ Nitkowski, who pitched in the majors for 10 years, said you looked at Max Fried and all the things he was showing you on the mound, the Yankee starter last night, was that he was getting tired. He thought that Boone was completely justified.
Right, but the fact that you go to a guy who has a 9.6 ERA in the month of September, to me, is indefensible. Absolutely indefensible. I don't care if you have to go get 2 outs. The guy has given up 9 runs per 9 innings in the month. How is that the first guy you think of? That's inexplainable to me and inexcusable.
Yeah, well, he was facing the 8-9 hitters. I think he thought he was going to get out of the inning. But listen, Aaron Boone's answering a lot of tough questions today. 888-710-4ISN. We see you guys on the phones. You want to weigh in on our great debate? Who's the most likable team of all time? Do that next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. 45 seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff Show. Ton going on today. We got our great debate, most likable team of all time, and King of the Hill trying to name the greatest NFL team of all time. We're going to talk to MattMosley, Doomsday Podcast, Mr. Dallas next. Let's go to Andrew Bogusch for some headlines first.
Hey, guys, the QB switch in Cleveland is roughly an hour old. The Browns tweeting that Dillon Gabriel will start against the Vikings Sunday morning in London. Joe Flacco demoted to the backup after 8 turnovers in their first 4 games. Now, with reports out of Baltimore saying Lamar Jackson could miss 2 to 3 weeks with his hamstring injury, the AFC North starting quarterbacks this weekend could be Cooper Rush for those Ravens, Gabriel, Jake Browning in Cincinnati, and Aaron Rodgers.
What a crew.
Exactly how we drew it up.
It's like, is someone taking ayahuasca to come up with that combination?
Even on ayahuasca, I don't think you can come up with that. I don't know what drug exists.
Homering to start the bottom of the first inning wasn't enough for Shohei in Game 1 with the Reds last night.
On a 1-1, Ohtani hits a towering ball, deep right field. He flips the bat and watches it fly 3/4 of the way up the pavilion. Just a mammoth blast for his second home run, and the Dodgers are pouring it on in Game 1.
Steven Nelson on Dodgers Radio, 454 feet on that one from Shohei. 3 RBI total and a 10-5 win over the Reds. LA tying their postseason single-game mark with 5 homers. A 2-run single, meanwhile, was the difference in Game 1 in the Bronx. Masataka Yoshida, a go-ahead pinch hit for the Red Sox, but they didn't win until Aroldis Chapman K'd Trent Grisham with the bases loaded to end the game. Aaron Judge had one of the 3 singles that began that inning.
Couldn't pull away with one there or two to tie it, but I'd like us getting a little chance to see Chapman there, and we'll be seeing him over the next 2 days, that's for sure.
The Yankees are the first team in postseason history to load the bases without an out in the bottom of the 9th inning, not score, and lose.
Oh, man.
Same schedule today for Game 2. Another reminder, we have had 12 of these wild card series so far, all 12 won by the Game 1 winner, with 10 of these series ending in sweeps. For the 3rd time in 4 seasons, the Las Vegas Aces are in the WNBA Finals. They finally sent the shorthanded Fever home last night, 107-98 in OT in their 5th and final game. Asia Wilson, 35 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists. The first ever best-of-7 final begins Friday night in Vegas against the Mercury. The Big 12 issuing a $50,000 fine and a public reprimand to Colorado because fans used an anti-Mormon chant during last weekend's game with the football game with BYU. And finally, very quickly, let's answer the question that has been dividing America for a long time now. Can LeVar Ball, after losing his right foot to diabetes earlier this year, still beat Michael Jordan one-on-one?
You know I can, all day, every day. I took it off so it'd be even.
He took the foot off so it'd be easier.
Did you say easier or even?
Either way, he's still talking smack about his long-lost foot.
You know what?
I'm undefeated, never lost.
I think he probably, in some weird recess of his brain, actually thinks that.
It's front and center in that brain, Maggie.
That's one of the
He's not
all-time
digging for it.
all-time great flexes in the history of sports because it was so over the top. Didn't he score like 2 points a game in college or something?
And it wasn't like, it's like, I'll beat MJ. I'll beat him. Like, it was just so outrageous.
Yeah. What was the year on that, by the way? Like, what was the peak ball Sun year?
I think it was like 2017.
It's that old now?
I think so.
Sounds about right.
I remember seeing video of who was it? LaMelo in 8th grade hitting 60-foot shots and against like the worst high school team I've ever seen in my life. That was a big part of our lives for a little while.
Yeah, too big.
I know we've done great debates flashes in the pan, but we did it again. Like, I think the Ball family almost could definitely be in there.
I mean, it'd be hilarious. Like, this is the one thing about LeVar. He's so crazy, so over the top. You know, now he's gone through these health things, but he did get 2 out of 3 kids to the NBA. And one guy can rap, apparently. So they all have talent in their own way.
That's true. So he scored 2.2 points a game at Washington State.
He's going to take on Jordan.
He was good at Cal State Los Angeles. Scored 15 points a game. I don't know if that's going to beat MJ.
You said Cal State Los Angeles, right? Not UCLA?
Not to be confused with University of California.
I don't even know what Cal State.
He started out kids went to UCLA.
He started out at West Los Angeles College, transferred to Washington State, then ended up at Cal State Los Angeles. CSLA, of course. Which was then later on inspired a TV series.
What's that?
CSLA?
Is this another dad joke? Did you mean CSI-LA?
Yes.
Oh,
cop.
Go home. Take the rest of the week off.
I couldn't remember the I.
Well, I said,
I don't know. It's just funny.
Inspired a TV series. Like,
I didn't
which
even know.
one? And
I've
you
never
looked at
heard,
me funny.
Have you ever heard? Have you ever heard of Western Los Angeles College or Cal State Los Angeles?
I feel like Cal State Los Angeles where the 90210 kids went to school because they couldn't use UCLA.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, like a fake school?
Yeah.
Remember the Fresh Prince? Remember they had the peak to school, the Peacock? Like that's
Yeah.
where Will and Carlton went.
It's kind of like when you see a movie and it's a fake football team because they don't have rights.
Yeah.
Got it.
Zach Morris is really good at Cal State LA.
Yeah, was that the Miami Sharks from any given Sunday?
Him and Slater were the Rolls Royce backcourt of CSLA.
Standing on the post.
Manny, what arena do they play in? Dude wipes.
It's not the Staples
arena.
Center. It's the Lowe's Center.
Does Manny even know 90210 or Saved by the Bell?
He knows 90210, he says.
Oh, thank goodness.
Nice.
Home Depot Center. That's where they play.
Brenda and Brandon still enrolled at CSLA. All right, we're good for Matt? Okay, let's welcome in Mr. Mosley. MattMosley, Doomsday Podcast, of course, has covered the Cowboys for a long, long time. He's the first person we thought of when, Matt, good morning, by the way. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm sorry to interrupt what you guys were doing there.
It's important work over here, Matt.
Yeah, listen, we're going to put you back on hold for a second so we can do more yakety-yakking about CSLA. But no, we thought of you first because we're doing this project called King of the Mountain, where we're trying to find the greatest NFL team of all time. So we're putting teams head-to-head against each other. And right now, the 1984 San Francisco 49ers are going head-to-head with the 1977 Dallas Cowboys.
And we know you were not that old enough to know what that team was, but you do have the Doomsday Podcast.
Yes,
Matt.
you have the Doomsday
so
Podcast.
That is
That's what I meant.
That's why we thought of you.
Doomsday Podcast, Doomsday Defense. So make the case. Why are the 1977 Cowboys the greatest team of all time, if you think that?
I don't know that I think that. I don't know that I think that they're better than some of those 90s teams, but that certainly was an unbelievable team in that they were having trouble, and even after that, they were having trouble with the Steelers that decade. And boy, they still, a lot of those players from those teams like have trouble even talking about anything without talking about those losses to the Steelers and not breaking through and not winning more Super Bowls. But that specific team did kind of have it all for the Cowboys. But that, you're right, that's peak. It's sort of peak doomsday defense, and people have tried to apply it to the Cowboys for years, and we've gotten a podcast name out of it. I'm surprised they haven't come again, after like naming rights or whatever. I'm surprised that Jerry hasn't sued me over the name of that podcast. But that's Ed Too Tall Jones, that's Harvey, that's a scary. That's John Dutton. That's young Tony D. That's everything you could possibly put on a team. Just like deep receivers, Tony and Drew, and then you had the sort of late career. You had early career Manster. That's Randy White, and then you had late career like Chuck Halley and Leroy George, and all those people were kind of winding up their careers. And then you had young Cliff Harris, Charlie Waters. It's just like Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer. It's insane. And so I mean, like 84 Niners. I mean, yeah, you're getting Montana and Walsh starting to rise to the peak of their powers, but from a defensive standpoint, you'd be hard pressed to find anything like that 77 Cowboys team. And you still had, I mean, Staubach, and his career would end not that long after that, but he was still great. And you had the California Quake, one of the great dances in NFL football that nobody talks about, with Butch Johnson.
Oh yeah, I mentioned the white shoes dance. I have a question coming off the Jerry Jones documentary, Matt. I kind of thought Jerry was taking full credit for the Cowboys' popularity because they only spent about a minute on the 70s Cowboys. The 70s Cowboys, you know, I grew up in Philadelphia. They were just so iconic and famous. I feel like the reason that Jerry was able to build the Cowboys brand so much had a lot to do with the history as well. Can you talk about sort of the impact that the 70s Cowboys had on them becoming America's team?
Well, you know, they didn't really start turning the corner. They were horrible in Landry's early years, and then about 66, they started to kind of turn the corner, and by the late 60s, they were, you know, battling the Packers for supremacy. And then, I mean, I would say the 70s, I mean, that's it, because that's, you know, Captain Comeback, that's Captain Crash was Cliff Harris. I mean, that was when they were just like extremely dominant. They just couldn't get past the they won 2 Super Bowls in that era, but they couldn't get past the Steelers. But I think that was a huge part of and I mean, I think that documentary obviously was just only about Jerry, so he wasn't doing anything with him in the 70s, so it didn't really come up. But I think it was massive in what they were putting together. So yeah, I think it plays a huge role. And you know, I think I've told you all this before. When you start with the late 60s and take it through the 70s and then get into 81, and of course the game, the famous game with the 49ers, the catch and all that, when you start take 82, that was 82, but maybe 81 season, the Cowboys in that time frame went to, think about this, they haven't been in 30 years, almost 30 years, to an NFC title game. In that span, you're talking about the 70s and a little bit before that, they went to the NFC title game in 17 of 21 seasons. So that's just like that. That's the way you make the argument for the Cowboys from Landry's years. They went every single year just about to the title game. And now under Jerry, they've gone 30 years without doing that. So it's pretty amazing.
Matt, last one for you. Only got a minute. And again, thanks for doing this. Bringing us back to present day with the Cowboys. How much did that tie against the Packers breathe some life into the Cowboys and maybe the hopes that this could be a playoff team?
I mean, I think we all love a good tie and just the pageantry and the excitement that it brings.
Oh, yeah.
They're back. They're obviously back. It was weird because on one hand, it was shocking to me that they were even in that game. I mean, they were down. I mean, they should have been 14-0. They had the little 2-point return, and I thought that was just going to be kind of a comical little side note. And it ended up kind of giving them some momentum. And I just have no clue. I mean, like, you have to admire the way Dak's playing and the way they scored points and ran the ball and everything with no CD Lamb. I think the offense functioned really extremely well. Why this isn't sustainable is this is one of the worst defenses we've ever seen from the Cowboys. And they've had some bad ones. But I don't know, for week after week after week of horrible coverage, horrible communication, no tackling, and they don't even know, they can't even recognize the screen pass. They have zero ability to recognize the screen pass. So basically, this defense right now is in the midst of just embarrassing all the 70s Cowboys. I mean, these guys don't even come to the games. It's very sad.
This is the complete opposite of the Doomsday defense. We got to leave it there. I'm sorry.
Yeah, by the way, check out, Matt, I know you have a YouTube channel now. I Want to Come On, Matt Mosley Show. This looks really good. I talked to you yesterday. Check it out.
All right, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Matt, you know we're fans of everything you do, and we thought of you first. Doomsday Podcast. We're talking about the 77 Cowboys Doomsday defense. Just a lot of fun every time we get to reminisce. So thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.
Maggie, Andrew, it's been a pleasure. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, lots more to do, including we're taking more of your nominees for who is the most likable team of all time. That's our great debate today. We see you guys on the phones. We're going to get to you next, MMP.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. 1 minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
All right, this Thursday Night Football preview is sponsored by Square. More than 4 million neighborhood businesses run on Square. To learn more, go to square.com or just stop by your favorite local business. See you in the neighborhood at Square. I think this Thursday Night preview is more of a medical update. Who's throwing the ball in San Francisco for San Francisco and who is catching it? Nobody and nobody.
Short week makes this really tough on Brock Purdy, etc., because his toe got re-aggravated in that loss to the Jaguars on Sunday. So he said yesterday if the game was on Tuesday, he would not be able to play. Now he gets 2 more days, Pearl, to presumably, I don't know, stay off his feet, get a little healthier. But even Mac Jones is banged up. So his backup quarterback is also not 100%. Meanwhile, you welcome in a Rams team that just looks dominant right now. Stafford looks great. You saw the video of the no-look touchdown pass that he threw in last week's game. Rebounded nicely after that fluky last-second loss to your Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, somebody's got to start covering Puka Nacua. Here's the problem with the Niners. Even if Purdy does play, Juwan Jennings questionable, Ricky Pearsall questionable. They both got banged up in the last game. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk's not back yet. And Kendrick Bourne had a huge drop. You are basically, you know who you're relying on? Your favorite players, Jake Tonjes and Luke Farrell, the backup tight ends. They are ready to go for the Niners.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I want to say the Rams looked dominant. I thought they looked really good against the Eagles. The Colts obviously were their own worst enemy in that game. They basically left 14 points on the board. But you know what? I think that Rams defense is for real, and I think Brock Purdy is going to be in major duress. I think Jared Verse is going to make a run for Defensive Player of the Year. And they line him up all over the place. But then again, divisional game, Rams seem to be making every game close. I don't quite know how. I worry about the Niners' health. Absolutely. 888-710-4ISN, 6.5-point spread. The Rams are favored, and that is your Thursday night preview. Now, as for our great debate, the most likable team of all time, let's go to Tom, who's in Youngstown, Ohio. Tom, who's the most likable?
You know what's funny is, first of all, I hate Don't Stop Believing also.
Thank you.
I want to get that. Secondly, what's funny is I live near Cleveland, and I'm a huge Red Sox fan, so I can't pick the 2004 Red Sox, although I'd like to. But even I love the 80 Browns cardiac kids. Even I love them.
The 80s Browns.
80 Browns. Is that a Brian Sipe production coming out of Cleveland?
Yes, it is. Yes.
What about, what did we say, the Ohio State, Maurice Clarett, freshman year Ohio State team?
I didn't say that. Yeah. EJ said that. Because remember, there's a state that hates that team.
Oh, we know. Thank you so much for that, Tom. The 1980 Cleveland Browns. How about Woody, who's in Texas? Who's the most likable team of all time?
I'm going to give you a 2-for-1 and then an honorable mention, but the 2-for-1's from the same game and kind of goes back to Pearl saying about college basketball. The 1983 national championship between Phi Slamma Jamma and North Carolina State. Love both those teams. The upset was just unbelievable. The Phi Slamma Jamma was awesome to watch. And then as an honorable mention, I'll give you the Kurt Warner-led, Dick Vermeil-led greatest show on turf.
Good one.
So those are my three. You all take care.
Thank you, sir. Fantastic. We had actually mentioned the greatest show on turf yesterday. That was the Kurt Warner, went from bagging groceries to Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah, EJ was going to pick that one. That's a great one.
And EJ, you ended up going with 99 Zags? Gonzaga Bulldogs?
Yeah, I went with college basketball, but the Rams that was the other team I was going to pick.
College basketball does lend itself to being lovable. Yep.
Yeah. Richard is in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Definitely not picking that Maurice Clarett Buckeyes team. But Richard, who is the most likable team of all time?
Well, I'm thinking since it's baseball season still that Perloff has forgot one thing because his territory is, how about Willie Stargell and the Bucks? We are family.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a fun team.
And those hats, those crazy hats.
Oh, I love those hats. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That was a fun team.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
At Veterans Stadium, there was a plaque where Willie Stargell hit the longest home run in stadium history. Big Pops, well, I can't remember his nickname, but he was truly like a national figure.
Yeah, the We Are Family Pittsburgh Pirates, no doubt. And also that team lines up nicely with one of Perloff's caveats whenever we do a great debate is that whoever it is that you're picking has to have a piece of clothing.
A look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a memorable look.
Yeah, they had the box hats. Like, those are insane.
It was like stripes, but horizontal.
Yeah, it was so
Crazy.
weird. And they had, I also love Dave Parker got caught in a photo smoking in the dugout. That's how I think of that team. And Dave Parker gunning out a guy who was a mile away from the corner of right field. That is a great team. And didn't Keith Hernandez and Dave Parker share an MVP?
Willie Stargell.
Oh, Willie Stargell.
Yep.
Yeah, they don't do it like the 70s anymore.
I want to come back to splitting MVPs. I know that's one of my takes that you guys hate. I think it's okay.
Oh, my God. I can't believe we have to break. I could talk about this for an hour.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you to EJ Stewart. Thank you to Chris Persianen. Chris?
Nailed it.
Persina. Thank you to Manny Rodriguez, Andrew Bogusch, Andrew Kaplan, the Widows.